This broadcast is copyrighted by NFL Productions for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this broadcast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the consent of NFL Productions is prohibited.
Tonight, an initial look at how first-year head coach Matt LaFleur wants his offense to operate. Backup signal caller DeShone Kizer gets the start. Defensively, it's about developing depth, and that includes taking a look at top-pick linebacker Rashawn Gary. The fight to make the 53 begins tonight at Lambeau Field. It's the Houston Texans and the Packers, and it starts next. From Lambeau Field in Green Bay, it's the preseason opener as the Packers take on the Houston Texans. Hi everyone, Kevin Harlan with Packer Hall of Famer and Pro Football Hall of Famer James Lofton. A new season and the Packers have a brand new head coach.
They certainly do. Think back 1 year ago tonight, Matt LaFleur walked in here as the Tennessee Titans offensive coordinator. Tonight he walks in as a Green Bay Packers head coach. I would think three emotions are on his mind tonight. I think he's a little nervous, I think he's very confident, and I think he's very enthused about the opportunity to be the head coach of the Green Bay Packers.
Time now for James to take a look at the players to watch tonight, brought to you by Toyota. The national clearance event is going on now. Visit your local Toyota dealer today or buy at Toyota.com to learn more. Toyota, let's go places.
Well, selfishly, I'm going to start on the offensive side of the ball. A guy that I introduced at the draft in Nashville, Elton Jenkins. He's going to play guard. I think he's very excited about that. He was a center primarily. And then Rashawn Gary. A lot of draft capital in the last couple of years on the defensive side of the ball. This guy can get after the passer.
All right, the Packers take on the Texans. The story begins for first-year head coach Matt LaFleur and the Packers. Coming up next, the Texans in Green Bay on the Packers Television Network. Harlan, James Lofton, Lance Allen, and John Kuhn on our sideline. A look at first-year head coach Matt LaFleur. A season ago, he was the offensive coordinator for the Tennessee Titans. The year before that with Sean McVay with the Los Angeles Rams. A lot has happened in this young 39-year-old's last 3 years.
Something as simple as the headset. Yes, he has a headset on, but now that headset he can communicate with the offense and the defense. So he has a switch that goes from offense to defense on that side of his headset. He has a lot more on his plate. That's why you bring in good coordinators. Nathaniel Hackett has been in the National Football League since he was a baby. His dad was a head coach. And then you take Penton on the other side of the ball, who's been a head coach previously. So you build your staff, and it doesn't hurt when you're building it around Aaron Rodgers as the quarterback.
James, what are you expecting in terms of the difference between what we've seen the last 13 years with Mike McCarthy's offense and now this brand new look brought in by Matt LaFleur?
A little bit of giddy up, and not so much in up-tempo, but just getting up to the line of scrimmage so that the quarterback can move, shift, motion players around. You're not waiting until the last second for Aaron Rodgers to signal somebody, you got this route, you take that route. More of it's going to come from the sideline. You have to get to the line of scrimmage quickly. So let's watch as they start on offense if DeShone Kizer can get to the offensive line scrimmage quickly.
Tonight's opening kickoff is presented by Fleet Farm, built for real life. Flip of the coin, won by Houston. They've deferred. Packers will take it. Jawil Davis, the former Giant, will bring it out. This is what he did for New York, and he's up past the 15 and near the 18-yard line for Green Bay. Flag was thrown on the play. Our referee tonight, Brad Rogers. This same crew was in camp on Monday and Tuesday as these two teams were practicing against each other.
During the return, blocking the back, number 36 of the return team. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
Raven Green. All right, so the quarterback, a former NFL starter, DeShone Kizer, 3 years out of Notre Dame.
I talked to DeShone on the field before the game. He's had 5, count them on one hand, different offenses. sophomore year, junior year, then his rookie year, last year, this year, so he's had a lot on his plate, but he gets a starting nod tonight.
They'll use a lot of fullback in this offense with the 1st and 10. Some play action and going deep and looking deep for Valdez-Scantling. It's incomplete. Flag is thrown. Coverage on the play by Bradley Roby.
I think we got a hole trying to keep the defenders off the quarterback.
Right.
Holding. Offense. Number 72. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Gerard DeBeer, who is out of Arizona. And let's take a look at the offensive lineups. It's presented by Spectrum. The name here to look at on the left side, Alex Light, but you've got your eyes on 74.
You know, I've been waiting to see what he looks like in a uniform. I got a chance to announce Elton Jenkins at the draft in Nashville as the Packers' second-round pick.
So with the 1st and 10, now 1st and 15 with the penalty, and they go outside. Danny Vitale, who's been a lot in the conversation with this offense and the use of the fullback. Tackle made by Bradley Roby. Out to the 9, and it is a gain of 5.
That was a one-handed grab that I don't think I ever remember seeing John Kuhn make when he was playing.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Now, hold on. We're not even a minute into the broadcast.
I didn't remember it.
And already John Kuhn
sure
is being called out. It's 2nd down and 10 for Green Bay. First possession from the 9. Valdez-Scantling is in motion. That receiving position really hotly contested. With a handoff here, and not much of a gain. It's 2 yards, and it's Trey Carson out of Texas A&M who comes up with a gain of 2 on the play.
When you have had a coaching change and a lot of shakeup, there are some jobs that are on the line, but there's also playing time that's on the line. And that's the thing that you want because, yes, you have a starting 22, but you probably go 30, 32 players deep in terms of playing on offense and defense a lot of the time.
Kumaro, bottom of your screen, 3rd down and 8, first possession. With time and the throw, and it's caught. Kumaro, 25-yard line, beats Bradley Roby, gets it out to the 25, pick up a 14, first down, Green Bay.
Sometimes it doesn't matter where a player has come from. It's what he can do once he's gotten here. Kumaro just beat Bradley Roby. Bradley Roby was a first-round pick with the Denver Broncos on a team that played in the Super Bowl and won a Super Bowl. He just beat a guy who played in the Super Bowl. That means that you can play on Sundays, and we've seen that last preseason, starting over this preseason now.
And a terrific throw by Deshaun Kaiser with a 1st and 10 pitch. Trey Carson will take it for 3. He's out to the 28. Carson is dealing with some neck issues, spasms in practice the other day, but is playing and starting because of a lot of other injuries to the first 2 running backs in this offense.
Availability.
Yep, that's right.
It's critical.
2nd down and 7. Vitale is in. And Kaiser has him and being chased by Blackson and takes it out of bounds with the run. We know he's mobile just beyond the Green Bay 30 with a gain of about 2.
On a bootleg that you go onto your left on, you have a guy in the flat, another person about 12 yards deep. Take the easy throw to start with because you're not going to be able to turn your hips enough to get that throw down the field when you're being chased. And I think Kaiser will look at that on film tomorrow morning, say, I should have gotten that ball to the fullback right away immediately.
3rd down and 5. Fullback remains. 6 in the secondary for the Houston Texans. White gives him a block at the tackle. Scrambling Kaiser, flag down, has the first down, needed the 35, slides by midfield into Texan territory. The flag is back at the 22. 23-yard run could be wiped out, and it is.
When you move that much in the pocket.
Holding. Offense. Number 70. 10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Offensive linemen are allowed to extend their hands and grab some jerseys. You can kind of move them one way, and you're okay. But the minute that you go the opposite direction, you're going to get called for holding it. Deshaun Kaiser started to his left, went back to his right. His offensive linemen are out on islands. They get exposed a little bit, get a holding call. They were able to overcome it the last drive. Now can they overcome it this part of the drive right here.
That was on Alex Light. His role now becomes magnified with Jason Spriggs being let go. Third Green Bay penalty, 3rd and 15 right here. Kaiser. Time and the completion. Thrown to his running back, and he corkscrews to the 30. Shy of the first down by 5. Carson makes the grab. A pickup of 10. 4th down, and here comes the punting unit for Green Bay.
That's a good job by Deshaun Kaiser of not trying to do, quote, too much. You always hear that. It's 3rd and 15. You're trying to get the 20-yard gain. It wasn't there. Defense played it well. Check it down. Get a couple extra yards so that we can tilt the field against the Texans on this punt right here.
Kiki QT is back on this punt by Green Bay's J.K. Scott, now in his 2nd season, a 5th-round pick out of Alabama a season ago. On the 26-yard line, QT. And drilled on the play. Nice tackle made. And it was Fackrell who comes down. The hang was a little over 4 and a 44-yard punt in a scoreless first quarter from Lambeau. You by Spectrum. By Fleet Farm. And by your local Chevy dealer. Just saw the bronze statues outside of Lambeau Field. A couple from Lake Forest, Illinois, was commissioned by the Packers to mold those. One of Curly Lambeau, one of Vince Lombardi. So after the Packers punt on their first possession, it's a 1st and 10. Joe Webb is the quarterback for the Texans, and he lofts one down the sideline with a nice catch by veteran Darren Fells. Brought down on the play by Oren Burks, and it's a 21-yard reception, and he gets it to the 49.
And they run a bootleg right at Rashawn Gary. They know he's going to be aggressive. That first play gets tied up with the tight end and get around the corner.
Joe Webb, a season ago with Buffalo, usually a special teamer. Here's a 1st and 10 handoff, and not a whole lot of room there for Tywan Jones with a flag thrown, gain of 2. Green was over there with the stop in the secondary.
Holding offense, number 71. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Titus Howard, that's their number 1 pick out of Alabama State. Tonight's starting lineups are presented by Spectrum. And Montravius Adams on there with Lancaster and Kiki. See the names right there. Gary is the player that was taken 12th overall out of Michigan.
People have already started buying his jersey.
Yeah, they should.
But it says Matthews on the back of it right now.
Well, for 10 years, Clay did a pretty good job wearing that number 52. The 10-yard penalty makes it 1st and 20 from the 39. With a quick handoff, and Tywan Jones, who is an 9-year veteran and trying to make this team, he picks up 2 to the 41-yard line with the tackle on the play made by Ty Summers, who has made some ripples in this camp so far.
It's interesting. Mike Pettin talked about Rashawn Gary to us, and he said, I'm going to be interested to see his get off and his pad level. And I'm watching the first couple plays. He looks like a sprinter coming off the ball. So there's a lot of acceleration, a lot of power in those first couple steps for number 52.
Packers with 5 in the secondary. 2nd down, 18 from the Houston 41. Webb with the cut across the middle by Kiki QT, who is a wide receiver out of Texas Tech. Hit on the play was made, as you see, by Brown. It was a pickup of 4, bringing up 3rd and 14, the gain to the 45.
You see Mike Pettin there on the sideline. Last year, he was up in the press box, so now he's down on the field. A little different viewpoint. He has to rely on some of his coaches to help him out upstairs. But that stare right there, that stare would get me to tackle somebody.
5 in the secondary remaining. Green Bay last year in points allowed, 22nd. 3rd and 14. They need the Green Bay 41. Webb. Here comes Gary. There goes Webb. He's caught his receiver with a catch made by Vincent Smith. He makes the catch, bobbled the ball. Did they say it was caught? No. And a flag thrown on the play. It may have been juggled, but they called it a completion. But there was a flag thrown.
Holding. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Kevin,
3rd and 14.
I want you to pick your favorite boxer of all time.
Boxer?
And the reason I say boxer, you don't have to pick him now, is because when a defensive back holds like that, in practice you make him wear boxing gloves. He's allowed to jam at the line of scrimmage, but he can't grab, so he has to use his feet to cover. Defensive backs get in bad habits of grabbing just a little bit of jersey during practice. You defeat that by making him wear boxing gloves.
Tony Brown was on the coverage right there. 1st and 10 by midfield. Here comes Webb, hit and brought down. Hit by Reggie Gilbert. Brought down, loss of 4, back at the 46. You may recall that Webb, in a playoff game here against the Vikings a couple years ago, started for Minnesota because of an injury to Ponder. Player is down for Green Bay at about the 42. Packer was Oren Burks walking off under his own power, but they've taken his helmet. Let's watch the injury again.
Yeah, there's a lot of bodies flying in here. He comes in trying to make the tackle on Joe Webb, and you can't tell if it's the tackle or somebody coming from the backside that gets him. But like you say, he walked off on his own power, so that was good. They consulted with him while he was down. And players have been taught, stay down until you feel right. There's no reason to jump up, stay in the game if you're not ready to play.
James Crawford comes in and takes his place. With that sack, 2nd and 14. Webb on the move, needs the 40 of Green Bay. Chased by Summers and out of bounds at about the 43 of Green Bay. Summers again with the 2nd tackle. He's a rookie out of TCU. A 7th round pick, an 11-yard run by the quarterback Joe Webb.
Joe Webb has some speed, same way with Deshaun Watson if he were starting. So that's a nice job of the linebacker running him down, taking the proper angle, not underestimating the fact that this quarterback can get up and go.
Packers at it. First possession. Big play, a 14-yard pass to Kumaro. Eventually punted. 3rd and 3. Drive began back at the Houston 28. Packer 43 right here. Khalil the block at the left tackle. But coming through with the play is Fackrell, and they chase him out of bounds, but not before. Webb gets the first down, ushered out of bounds by Summers. Picks up 3 on the play. Move the chains to the Green Bay 39 for Houston.
Back-to-back plays where Joe Webb has been able to escape the pocket. Now what this does, if I'm a pass rusher, it slows me down a little bit mentally because I don't want to overrun a guy who has good escapability.
Webb, originally a Minnesota Vikings 6th round pick, 10th year out of UAB. 25 yards passing, 15 yards on the ground. Crawford remains at that inside backer for Green Bay. 1st and 10, handoff to Taiwan Jones. Wrapped up by Summers. Coming through, gain of about a yard inside the 39. Summers has looked good so far, shown flashes in camp for sure. Well, tonight from Lambeau Field, our first quarter action is sponsored by Spectrum.
You know, when you are playing a game and you don't see all the stars, Deshaun Watson, DeAndre Hopkins, J.J. Watt, let's not forget, Houston Texans, 11-5 last year.
Yes, they were.
They went on a 9-game win streak after starting off the season 0-3. So this is a quality opponent up and down the roster that the Packers have been facing all week long in practice and now in the game.
Greg Mance has just left the field, hobbling off for head coach Bill O'Brien. There is Mance, who leaves, a 5-year player out of Toledo. In now will be Zach Fulton, who usually plays right guard. And they bring in Max Sharping, who is from Green Bay, Southwest High School. 2nd round pick out of Northern Illinois. Timeout on the field. Houston on the move, 5:25 in the first. Preseason game number 1, Lambeau Field. Fall into fun at the Radisson Hotel, Green Bay, right next to Oneida Casino. Right across from the Green Bay Airport, offering their great escape package. Find details at radisson.com/Green Bay. Timeout taken by Houston moments ago. 2nd down 9. Long drive. Joe Webb at the Green Bay 39. Taiwan Jones in the offset eye. Webb down the middle and intercepted and picked off on the play. Holman's got it. Kadar Holman, who's a rookie out of Toledo, picks it off, flag on the play. Back at the 15. It's against the Packers that'll wipe it out.
I saw him indicate a hold against the Packers. I'm watching the coverage there. I thought that was pretty good coverage by Holman.
Could be after the interception. Let's see. But a hold was ruled, and the officials conferring on the field with 5:16 scoreless first quarter.
Holding offense number 75. That penalty is declined. During the return, personal foul, blindside block, number 25. That penalty is accepted, half the distance to the goal. It will be first down, Green Bay.
So the hold was after the interception, and the Packers have a turnover on defense off of Joe Webb.
That blindside block that's called is for player safety. It used to be when you got a block like that, it was called a decleater. The guy didn't see you coming, you knocked him off the cleats. I just didn't see it on that play where it was that vicious of a block. But the officials are trying to protect the offensive players a little bit. That's a tough one right there.
DeShone Kizer remains the Green Bay quarterback for his second possession. The hold on the Packers was enforced. That's why they go at the 8. Running back, rookie Dexter Williams, he gets the call. He's out of Notre Dame, and he is drilled as he hits the line. In on the play by Dylan Cole, third-year player, Missouri State. Gain of 2 for Green Bay to the 10.
Situational football. You had the ball inside the 10-yard line, Kevin. What you would like to get out of this drive as a minimum is 2 first downs. The reason being so that if you have to punt the ball away, you're not giving the ball away to the opposing team's offense around midfield.
Injuries to Aaron Jones, who would see a lot of time, and Jamal Williams, both with hamstrings. Second down and 8. Here's the very quick, as you can see, quick as a hiccup, Derek Williams. Dexter Williams will take it out to about the 18-yard line, 17-yard line. Mark him at the 17, gain of 6.
Good job reading the holes, and good job having your pads kind of square as you're going through the line of scrimmage. It's not a huge hole, but you want to get as much out of that run as possible.
Dexter Williams with the injuries, hamstring injuries to the 2 top running backs, getting a lot of extra snaps in practice, in games. Terrific runner last year at Notre Dame. Here's a 3rd and 1 from the 17. Williams gets the first down, bursting 3. Brought down in the secondary by Jaleel Adai on a burst of 4 to the 31 and a first down for Green Bay.
When you see a hole like that, as a running back, your juices get going. He runs through the first arm tackle, then he gets taken down swiftly by Adai, who used to be with the Chargers and who is an outstanding player. So it's a good guy going down low at your legs. Got to keep those legs churning, trying to run through some of those arm tackles.
Williams, last year for Notre Dame, averaged 6.3 a carry, one of 8 running backs in college football to average as many 1st and 10. Play action there, Tunyon the block, and a pass again across the middle. Kumro makes the grab, first down catch. At the 44-yard line, 13-yard pickup. Had a 14-yard catch earlier. Another Green Bay first down.
Not a lot of separation, but a great job in extending his hands and making it a hands catch. If he tries to catch this ball in his body, it's not going to happen because he's going to get hit at the same time. But he extends his hands, strong hands to bring that ball in. Nice job by Kumaro.
Vitale, the fullback, is in. First down and 10. Kizer. It's off to Williams. Stuffed at the line right there. Hit by Brandon Dunn, veteran out of Louisville. Gain of 1 up to the 35.
That was like handing the ball off in the front of the closet and just running into the wall. you thought that you knew there was darkness there, but you didn't know there was a wall. Not much you can do on that play.
Williams is out of the Orlando area. Went to West Orange High School in Winter Garden, Florida. Second down and 9. Second possession for Green Bay. Kizer, and that was batted down. Nice defensive play there by Brennan Scarlett, who is out of Stanford.
Yay! That was supposed to be a quick screen.
Yep.
He got up in the way of the screen, and Good job by Kaiser because he knows the offensive linemen are going to run down the field. So you've got to spike that ball right away so you don't get illegal down the field.
Kaiser's first incompletion, he's 4 of 5.
And an intentional incompletion.
Yes.
So he's really 4.5 out of 5.
3rd down and 9. Into the nickel, blitz by Scarlett and thrown away. Flag is thrown too. So we got a flag, we've got a ball thrown out of bounds. Scarlett's going. I want to amend yeah, he went to Stanford, but he played 3 years at Cal, and he was a grad transfer to Stanford.
A lot of his family members had gone to Stanford.
Yes.
So he transfers though. You got to be pretty smart to get a degree at
Well,
both those schools.
that's questionable. I know
at Cal and Stanford.
Yes, yeah.
Which one do you think is easier? Stanford.
Stanford, much.
Offside, number 94, defense. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
A lot of penalties in this game, and a lot have been on the 2 defenses in this one so far. Bill O'Brien, 6th year. He's had a winning season as the head coach of the Texans 4 of the last 5 years, and as James said, finishing 11-5 a season ago after their 0-3 start. 7 total penalties, 3rd down and 4 right here. The tally in the backfield, Kaiser slings a pass incomplete. Nice coverage on the play with the pass intended for Equinemius St. Brown. It's incomplete, and for a second possession, the Packers have got a punt.
Tight coverage. He's just running a slant pattern. See him coming in from the left of your screen, and there's no separation between Brown and Roby. Roby's on his back the whole time, and sometimes if you never get open, if you're ridden the whole way in the route, the officials don't throw the flag on that play. They could have, because he's hit early, but he never got open.
J.K. Scott was the second punter drafted a year ago. There's a second punt here. QT is back, and this drives him back. Hit him! It's loose! It's free! It's a ball recovered by St. Brown at the 1. A hang time of over 5 seconds.
Touchdown.
And what will they rule? They discuss it on the field. St. Brown was there. It's a touch. It's a touchdown. St. Brown on the muff, recovering for Green Bay, and the Packers lead it 6-0.
You know, it's such a great punt. Hang time, QT has to go back. He slips a little on that turf, and then Brown hits it, knocks the ball forward, and he ends up with it in the end zone. Now, all plays are reviewed, scoring plays. So up top, they're looking at it. Where did the momentum of this kick come from? Was it the kick itself, or is it Brown hitting the ball, moving it past the goal line? Obviously, Brown recovering it in the end zone for a touchdown.
Mason Crosby with the point after. And he gets it to go. Mason Crosby, there goes a flag. We've had Crosby dealing with a calf issue and was activated over the weekend. Green Bay only had 15 takeaways a season ago. They've got a brand
illegal
new
formation. Offense number 74 was not on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Replay the try.
That was on the rookie Elton Jenkins. The Packers have a brand new special teams coordinator in every possible category a season ago. Green Bay special teams was either at the bottom or near the bottom. Menenga is the new coordinator coming from Vanderbilt. Before that, 7 years an assistant special teams coach with Cleveland.
And without your starters playing, you're playing a lot of guys in critical roles, so just got to get lined up if you're Elton Jenkins.
One more time, Crosby drills it through. A recovered muffed punt in the end zone by the receiver Equinemius St. Brown. 2 years out of Notre Dame, QT could not find the handle, but St. Brown did in the end zone for 6, and the Packers on top of the Texans. So we are back at Lambeau Field, where the muff was recovered in the end zone by Equinemius St. Brown, and the extra point by Crosby, and a 7-0 Green Bay lead. And now Crosby, and what they're going to do with their kickers, as the Packers have a couple in camp, including Mason Crosby, is they will be alternating back and forth. Our scoring summary, as you saw right there, brought to you by Chevrolet. And this will be out of bounds, and they'll go to the 40-yard line. Chevrolet, proud to be the best-selling brand in Wisconsin and the official vehicle of the Green Bay Packers. Trust Chevy on your team. Visit your local Chevy dealer today. That is on Green Bay, and the ball will go to the 40-yard line as it's kicked out of bounds.
Kevin, you're a little bit of a golfer, right?
A little bit is a good word to use.
So that ball right there that Mason Crosby just kicked out of bounds, that's like putting it in somebody's backyard and they're at home.
Yes.
Normally you hope that person's on vacation. But you go over there, you look in the backyard, and there your ball is, and they're ready to hand it to you or sell it back to you for $5.
Webb remains the quarterback. It's 1st and 10, and out of the backfield, he dumps it off, and this is caught by Jordan Akins, who's 2 years out of Central Florida. The catch and run to the Green Bay 42, picks up 18. They're moving at will on the Green Bay defense. It's a first down for the Texans.
Those bootlegs, the change of direction, some of the things that they might not have shown in practice the last couple of days, now you unveil for the game because you go, oh, they really like the fast, slow chase.
Taiwan Jones in the backfield. It's a 1st and 10. The quarterback Webb will offer a block, and there goes Jones to the 32. Brought down by Natrell Jamerson, who's out of Wisconsin, waived by Houston a year ago. 9-yard gain on the play to the Green Bay 32.
Now, Kevin, you've been broadcasting for quite some time. And Joe Webb is one of those names that always pops up on rosters. You go, oh, I didn't know he was on this team. I didn't know he was on this team. 3rd-string quarterback, but a core special teams player. So
yes.
Him being out in front to block, that's not a surprise to us.
They do give him 10. They give him the. Look at Taiwan Jones, who takes it by the 20, and ball knocked away and picked up by Will Redmond. He took the ball in a fumble on the play, and Redmond takes it the other way with another turnover, and this is picked up by Redmond. Taiwan Jones fumbling the ball as he was jetting for another Texan first down.
When you look back on the Packers season last year, 6-9-1, where did they fall short? A lot of stats look pretty good, but one of the stats that wasn't good was the takeaway margin. They need to be able to take the ball away. They were great at protecting it. So this, 2 takeaways in the first quarter, that's great for the Packers.
Packer 28. Taking over with the 1st and 10 and 41 seconds to play in the first. 2 turnovers, both in Green Bay territory. Here comes Houston from the 28 on defense now with a 4-man, 3-man front. It's 1st and 10 for Deshaun Kaiser. And they will go back with the run game right here, and a move to the 29-yard line. And a gain of a yard on the play. As Green Bay keeps it on the ground, Trey Carson with the carry to the 29. They'll let the first quarter clock. Well, they can't because they want to change.
Oh, they've got time. Yeah, the play clock is at 16.
Yes.
Sure.
So they'll do that. All right, there we go. And 7-0 Green Bay. Muff punt recovered in the end zone by the Packers. With the lead, Redmond just recovered the fumble right there for the Packers on the run by Taiwan Jones. Welcome back to Green Bay tonight's second quarter, brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all of your home improvement needs. Packers covered a muff punt by QT in the end zone. Equinemius St. Brown got it. Packers on top 7-0. Fumble moments ago by Texan running back Taiwan Jones. Sets up a 2nd and 9 starting the second quarter here for the Packers from their own 29. Carson in the backfield has been drawing praise from Aaron Rodgers in camp as he's taken the place of Jones and Williams. Good hit in the middle there by Dylan Cole on a gain of a couple to the Green Bay 31 on the run by Trey Carson.
You're trying to run to the open side where the slot receiver is. That time Darius Shepard, he's the slot receiver, number 10. He had to try and block the defensive back. The defensive back is staring straight in the backfield. He beat him to the point. Didn't get the block by the wide receiver. I always hate it when that happens.
Vitale is in on the 31. Green Bay 3rd down and 7. Coomer's had a couple of big catches in this game. Dumps it off over the head, over the reach. Poor throw. Vitale couldn't get it. Kaiser and the offense will leave the field. It is 4th down, and they will punt.
You've got to be able to hit the layups because you've got to give Vitale a chance. Sure, he's going to catch the ball at or around the line of scrimmage, but if he makes one guy miss, he can probably pick up the 1st down right there.
Kaiser started 4 of 4, has missed his last 3. I think Aaron Rodgers will play next week in Baltimore. J.K. Scott will punt again. Last punt was a little over 5 seconds through the air. Kiki QT will be back to get it. 4th round pick, 7 games played a year ago. Lets us go to the 18-yard line. 4-9, and here comes his run after he muffed the last one and taken down on the play by the Green Bay long snapper Hunter Bradley. 51-yard punt, 21-yard return. Well, the Packers turn 100 on Sunday. Celebrate this momentous occasion with this unique birthday celebration minted coin. This unique coin is a 24-karat gold-plated coin with 100 Seasons logo carefully embedded with a color overlay. This is a limited edition coin. There are only 2,019 of them available, exclusively minted for the Packers and only available from the Packers Pro Shop. Bradley, who had some competition, made the team a year ago as the long snapper, now in his 2nd season out of Mississippi State. Webb on 1st and 10, QT across the middle. Brought down on the play by Raven Green of Green Bay at the Houston 48, gain of 9.
It's not a good sign for the Texans. QT is down. He's a player that they really liked a lot last year. He played 6 games, only had 2 starts after drafting him last year in the 4th round.
So there's an injury timeout with 13:50 left in the first half from Lambeau and Green Bay as we step aside. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Spectrum, by Menards, and by Toyota. Good crowd at Lambeau tonight, just over 70 degrees, a picture-perfect day in northeastern Wisconsin. Preseason game number 1, 2nd down and 2 coming up. QT helped off the field after his 9-yard reception. Joe Webb, 2nd and 1. Taiwan Jones outside. Grabbed out there by James Crawford. And a gain of 3 and a 1st down to the Green Bay 49. Still no update on Oren Burks. He left early in the game defensively for the Packers after starting. He has not returned, and Crawford took his place and is still in there.
A little bit of hurry-up offense here by the Houston Texans.
Green Bay 49. Webb outside for Jones. And snared out there by Will Redmond, who had a fumble recover early on. He spins his way for a 1st down to the 38-yard line of the Packers, a gain of 11.
Jones was left totally uncovered. He's a running back who's on the outside. Defensive backs were running in, trying to communicate. Now you see a linebacker going out there to cover him up, so they've got it covered this time. Speeding up this offense, 1st and 10, Webb across the middle. This one is caught by Steven Mitchell on the Houston practice squad a year ago. He's out of SC. Gets down to the Green Bay 31, pickup of 8 right there. So QT for 9, Jones for 11, and an 8-yard reception right there for the Houston Texans. 2nd down and 2. Taiwan Jones, nice hit by Will Redmond out of Mississippi State for Green Bay. Shy of the 1st, gain of about 2 on the play near the Green Bay 28. That's a commitment by Will Redmond. He sees everybody blocking, the 2 tight ends on that side. He's unblocked. You just got to come and make the tackle and want to make it. Nice job by Redmond. Redmond originally drafted 3rd round, San Francisco. He's had some knee injuries in his career. 3rd and 1. Taiwan Jones into Summers around his ankles. He finds Chris Bolton, a rookie free agent out of Oklahoma for the Pack. It is a gain of 2
And he should have enough for a first down. They'll spot him at the Green Bay 27-yard line.
Those third ones, you're fighting with all your grit to try and stop the first down, to make them kick a field goal. Now what you have to do, you have to regroup. First and 10, you need the same intensity that you had tried to display on that third and short on first and 10 here.
Texans have reached Packer territory in all 3 drives tonight. First and 10. Webb going deep to the end zone. Incomplete as he had Tyron Johnson. With coverage on the play by Kadar Holman. Second down.
Get good coverage on the back end, just enough where he can't put the ball right on him because the safety be there for a nice collision.
Jamerson was over there too. Holman, the rookie out of Toledo, a 6th-round pick at second down and 10. Drive started back at the Houston 39. Outside they go. Mitchell. Good beat on it right there. Nice tackle made by Chandon Sullivan out of Georgia State for the Packers. A nice play with the loss on the play of about a half yard. When undrafted, Philadelphia began with him in their practice squad a year ago.
Sullivan just decided he was going to be more physical than the wide receiver who was trying to block him. Does a nice job standing the wide receiver up, fighting through him, and then making the tackle.
Webb on this drive has had completions of 9, 11, and 8 yards. 3rd and 9, Green Bay 26.
Watch Gary against the right tackle up top.
Gary comes inside. Webb escapes, chased by Gilbert, gets away, picks up a first down to the 12. Brought down on the play by Chris Bolton. 13-yard pickup by the slippery Joe Webb.
That's the 3rd time that Joe Webb has gone back to pass, escaped the pocket, and come away with a 10-yard plus run.
Down to the 12. It is a first down. Webb, handoff here to Crockett. We have the tackle made by Summers. Let's go to the sideline, and here is John Kuhn.
Hey guys, watching this Packer defense right now, all I see is the secondary playing man defense. That's great. They're staying with their wide receivers. The problem is if you don't get pressure on this quarterback or he escapes the pressure, everybody's back is now turned to you when he escapes the pocket and runs downfield. A little bit of trouble early on. Back to you guys.
Good stuff, John. Second down, 7 from the 10. And some movements. And it's on Houston. False start. 11th play of the drive.
False start. Offense. Number 76. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
That's a veteran, too, and Chantrell Henderson fighting for a position at that right tackle.
You could just see Henderson there, hands on his hips, huffing and puffing a little bit. This pace that the Texans are playing at is getting a little bit to the Packers. The linebackers aren't filling the right gaps. Everybody has to be able to fill the gaps to stop the run. Now you're really looking at pass, but don't forget about Joe Webb slipping out of the backfield.
Second down, 12. Green Bay 5 in the secondary. Henderson the rock at that right tackle, but coming through with great pressure on the play. Fackrell to the end zone, incomplete, and Mitchell with coverage on the play by Chris Bolton. 3rd and 12 for the Houston Texans.
A little bit of a decision here for Mike Pettin. Do you just rush 4 and tell him to keep Joe Webb in the pocket? Because you really haven't gotten into the point where you're game planning. Right now you want to force the Texans to kick a field goal and don't give them anything cheap. But if you play zone coverage on the back end, those zones have holes in them.
3rd down, 12. Crockett in the backfield. Akins in motion. Webb. They come up the middle. Bolton can't get him. Here comes Webb. Here comes Summers. And Webb again slips away. Slips down to the 1. Tackled on the play by Holman. A lot of missed tackles by Green Bay. It's 1st and goal to go. Houston at the 2.
Joe Webb in his 10th year, 6'4", 231 pounds, can shake and move just enough. Like we said, he's a special teamer. He's tough.
1st and goal. 2 13-yard runs by Webb on this drive. Handoff into the 1-yard line goes Crockett, rookie free agent from Missouri. 3rd time that Webb, as we just saw him run for 13 right there, has run for a first down on third down. Tackle there by Ty Summers.
And it's the middle of the line, the nose tackle, the two inside backers. They have to work like a fist together. So Tyler Lancaster, Curtis Bolton, at number 44, they're all trying, Ty Summers, they're all trying to work in concert together, probably working together for the first time in live action.
6.5-minute drive. Second down and goal. Webb, Crockett. Back of the line, he couldn't be brought down. That is a touchdown run. Lancaster watched Crockett slip right through his grasp and go in for 6 for the Texans. Demaria Crockett comes up with a touchdown run.
Kevin, there's a certain conditioning level that you get when you're in training camp. If you're on the first team offense, or second team offense, or third team offense, you probably, at the most, run 4 plays in a row. Then the next unit comes in. Same way on defense. This defense has been out there for an extended period of time. You saw that Lancaster Tyler, he came through the line, had the tackle, but just didn't have enough energy to hold on and make the tackle. So the first part of the play is good, but not being able to pin him down for a 2 or 3 yard loss is where he failed.
14 plays on that drive, 3 of 3 on third down, 1-yard touchdown run on the play, and a 61-yard drive. Fairbairn gets it through, ties the game at 7. Webb terrific on the drive with 2 13-yard runs. And the Texans have come back to tie in the second quarter. Houston Texans, in terms of time, 61 yards on the ground. Completions of 9 yards, 11 and 8 through the air. And then Webb, who threw those completions, got a couple runs himself of 13 yards apiece. Crockett, a 1-yard touchdown run. 7-7, we are tied. And now the ensuing kickoff. And deep back will be T.O. Redding, who spent the last 6 weeks of last season on the Green Bay practice squad. And to kick off will be Kaimi Fairbairn for the Houston Texans. He practiced twice against Green Bay this week. That'll be in and out of the end zone, touchback to the 25. We have the 1st and 10 coming up for quarterback Deshaun Kaiser. He was acquired in a trade a year ago from Cleveland, started as a rookie, now in his 3rd season out of Notre Dame. Began 4 of 4. James Lofton missed his last 3 passes.
He's got to get some throws in 1st and 2nd down where the defense is playing the run. You get some separation between the linebackers who've come up to stop the run and throw to those wide receivers in that void area.
Packers haven't reached midfield yet. Dexter Williams in the backfield and the offset eye. 1st and 10. Kaiser going deep down the middle and incomplete, looking for Jamon Moore.
Jamon Moore slipped coming out of his break. That play was wide open. Maybe they're listening to me about what plays to call, because that's the play action that you needed. Suck the linebackers up. Jamon Moore, all he's running was a square in, plants off the wrong foot, and he slips coming out of the break because Kaiser laid that ball right out in front where it should have been.
Moore played 12 games a season ago, had just a couple receptions, had 4 kickoff returns. 2nd down and 10. Williams remains in the backfield and gets the pitch and gets a block on the play. And he is brought down as he cuts the corner by Davin Bellamy out of Georgia. It is a 3-yard gain. He's up to the Green Bay 27.
Missing that 1st down play action pass and then only getting 3 yards on 2nd down. Now you're kind of behind the sticks. You want your 3rd downs to be 3rd and 4 or less. 3rd and 7, kind of tough to make. You got to hold the ball a little longer. You have to throw the ball almost beyond the sticks right here.
Lucas Patrick is the Packer center. Lindsley out with an injury. 3rd down, 3 and down the middle, and it's a nice catch by Tunyon, the tight end. Acrobatic grab into Houston territory, 49-yard line, 23-yard completion, 1st down.
Pretty good touch on this ball. He has to throw it over the linebackers who are taking a deep drop. And Tunyon, I would have loved to have seen him play high school basketball, because going up like that, you could tell this guy has some hops.
Great athlete, excellent hands, former practice squad player. 1st and 10. Setting up the screen pass. Here comes Williams, getting a block on the play and takes it down to the 30. Hit and brought down by Austin Exford. It's a catch and run by Dexter Williams of 18, and a first down for Green Bay.
That screen did not have the best timing on it. Williams has to hesitate, but once he decides to go, he can go. You could see the acceleration there. That's a good first down call by, well, maybe Matt LaFleur, Nathaniel Hackett, whoever's calling the plays right here. I think it's Matt LaFleur.
Justin McCray with a nice block. 1st and 10, 31 of Houston. And Williams, Tunyon with a block. Brought down on the play by Angelo Blackson at about the 27, 28-yard line with a gain of about 4 for Dexter Williams. They're high on him. They're going to need about 4 guys back there, and that's what he's vying for right now. And back at Jones and Williams.
In talking to the coaching staff, a lot of members, they're trying to incorporate what we call the outside zone. I'm doing air quotes as I say that.
I can see him.
And it's famous by Terrell Davis and the Denver Broncos, where it's toward the line on an angle, one cut, and then shoot right up the field. So you've got to really be aggressive when you run the football.
Couple tight ends in, 2nd down 6. They go out here. It's bobbled, then reeled in. Jamon Moore close to the first down coverage by Johnson Botamosi, who has bounced all over the NFL, gain of 6.
When you're calling plays, you want to see certain players do certain things. You had Jamon Moore, who we had on a play-action pass early. He kind of slipped out of the break. That time a quick out to Jamon Moore, and he bobbled the ball just a little bit. So there's a little bit of nervousness in Jamon Moore right now, but he's made one play. Let's see if he can make another.
Looking to get a clean slate after struggling last year. 3rd and 1. Fake handoff. Here comes Kaiser. And puts his head down. Looks like he got the first down. Head-to-head with Botamosi. Gain of 2 on the play. Getting the first down.
That looked more like a missed handoff connection between quarterback and running back. Because I'm watching the backside. I'm watching Jamon Moore on that. And he's kind of not really thinking that this ball's coming out on his end. Kaiser decides to take this. You don't want your quarterback putting his head down like that.
Trey Carson was back there. He has not played in the regular season yet. Carson hasn't. It's a first down for Green Bay. Kaiser, crossing pattern, trapped by Moore. An issue with him. 2nd down and 10.
Timing's a little bit off. If you're going behind you, you've got to make sure you're looking that ball all the way to your hands. He tried to get a little bit of body on that and kind of pocket catch it a little bit instead of getting his hands right directly on it.
But catchable.
Yep. Not for me. I'm kind of old, but yeah, very catchable for a young professional athlete.
2nd down 10. Passed by the quarterback, Deshaun Kaiser to Tunyon at 23 yards, the big play. Carson takes a ride here and jumping on his back, Johnny Dwight out of Alabama, rookie free agent, to the 14 of the Houston Texans, and a gain of 6 on the play by Carson. Formerly of Auburn, he entered the NFL with the Cincinnati Bengals.
I like the push that he gets right at the end of the play because he stopped, and then that lean forward to get the extra 2 yards for a gain of 6.
3rd down and 4. Kaiser moving up. Gets away to the end zone. Caught for a touchdown. Darius Shepard. Great play by Deshaun Kaiser. And a marvelous catch by Shepard to the welcoming party, and the Packers have taken a lead on a 14-yard touchdown pass.
I'm trying to think, if I'm in college and I'm coming to the NFL, where would I want to go? Sure, you could go play with Tom Brady in New England or go down to New Orleans with Drew Brees. But you get to come here, you score a touchdown, and you get to do the Lambeau Field leap. That's pretty special.
Darius Shepard played at North Dakota State. They won 3 national championships. Division I FCS. Extra point here is up and in by Sam Ficken. On that drive, Kaiser 4 of 6. Scrambling right here with the acrobatic catch. by Shepard in the end zone. 14-7 Green Bay. On that drive, he had Tunyon for 23, Williams for 17, Jamon Moore for 6, and then Shepard on a 14-yard touchdown completion. And here is the kickoff by Sam Ficken. Very strong leg in there competing against Mason Crosby. And the scoring player, scoring drive, brought to you by Chevrolet. Chevy, proud to be the best-selling brand in Wisconsin and the official vehicle of the Green Bay Packers. Trust Chevy on your team. Visit your local Chevy dealer today. Kaiser has thrown to has completed 8 passes to 7 different players. And on that drive, 3 big completions. And the Packers get the 14-yard touchdown pass. They've recovered a ball in the end zone on a muffed punt and lead it 14-7 over Houston. On the 25, 1st and 10, it's Webb with a handoff to Crockett, who had the 1-yard touchdown run moments ago for Houston on a gain of about 4, brought down by Adams.
One of the things that you're going to be looking at as a coaching staff is you're going to say, how did we run the ball and how did we defend the run? So base runs, the Packers have fared pretty well against. It's the quarterback scrambles that have given them a hard time.
2nd down and 5. Moving up nicely is Webb, and a wobbly pass with pressure around and incomplete. You're seeing some nice plays from Montravius Adams on that play, pressure the pocket. Mike Benton, the defensive coordinator, says Adams has been the most improved player so far defensively for the Packers.
I remember last year noticing that he had a very quick first step. And when you see a lot of big bodies along the defensive line, but if you have a good, quick initial first step like Gary does, Montravius Adams, that can be an asset.
3rd down 5. Webb outside quickly, hauled in by Akins, brought down on the play in the secondary by Sullivan, and he gets 6 on the play to the 36, which takes us to the 2-minute warning. At Lambeau Field, tonight's ground game stats powered by Cenex. Be sure to stop at your local Cenex to fuel up on the way to your next Packers game. Cenex is the proud petroleum partner of the Green Bay Packers. You see the numbers right there. A lot of those numbers you see for Houston on the ground, James, from the quarterback. Joe Webb.
He's kind of got high school numbers. 4 carries, 41 yards.
Right.
Expect that to see that on Friday night, not Thursday night, the NFL game.
Let's look at Carson. Houston running backs have only 38 yards on the ground. Crockett is back there with Webb. From the Houston 36, 1st and 10. Houston with a couple timeouts. Good run by Crockett. Summers is there again with the stop for Green Bay, but not after Crockett sprints to the 48. Has the gain on the play at 12 and a 1st down.
Communication is key when the offense decides to go up-tempo.
With a veteran quarterback at the helm. Crockett. And stuffed inside, not much there. Gets to midfield, give him a gain of 2.
Same play that they ran on 1st down for about 12 yards. That time they get 2. So nice job, Packers, kind of covering it up because they're running right at Montravius Adams and double teaming him. Linebacker has to come up and fill. 2nd
down and 8. Packers lead in a touchdown pass of 14 yards. Outside it goes. This caught by Tyron Johnson. Out of bounds, he is knocked by Holman. Gain of 5. Gets out of bounds. 45-yard line. Clock is at 1:05.
Texans will probably huddle up since that ball went out of bounds. They don't have to go to their no-huddle, hurry-up offense.
Bill O'Brien, former head coach at Penn State. Before that with Bill Belichick in New England.
If you're rushing the passer, probably not going to get to him, so get your hands up in those passing lanes.
Houston has gone in Green Bay territory every drive tonight. All 4 of them. Here's a pass on 3rd and 3, and it's caught on the play for a 1st down by Mitchell. Brought down on the play by Sullivan. Gain of 11, 1st down.
Those defensive linemen have to understand down and distance. a 3-yard pass play, get your hands up in that passing lane.
1st and 10. 2 timeouts. 36 of Green Bay. And a nice easy pass deflected on the play. Summers, I think, was it Summers who got it or was it Bolton? Bolton had his hand on that ball and just about grabbed it for the Packers. Nice play, pretty play by Bolton.
He gets one hand on it. Bolton, a little, I won't say undersized, but a little vertically challenged. He's listed at 6 feet tall. That means he probably comes in a little around 5'11", but he stretched out as much as he could trying to get that ball.
Former high school fullback in California. 2nd down and 10, 37 seconds, first half. Watson watches from the sideline as Webb will throw, and it's knocked away, and it's incomplete. Coverage broken up by Ento, who is a converted wide receiver from Colorado. Houston 6 of 6 on 3rd down tonight.
Good coverage by the corner, but a really smart heads-up play by Redmond, who's coming over. A lot of safeties would go and try and knock that receiver down. Real tough shot. That's going to be a penalty flag. The play's not made. Learn to play within the context of the rules so that you don't cost your team a 15-yard penalty. Now you can get after them on 3rd and 10.
They're down and 10 from the Green Bay 36. Webb underneath, caught, shy of the first down, grabbed in the play by Jarrell Adams. The tight end picks up 5 on Houston's practice squad a year ago. Jamerson right there, the former Badger, with the stop. We mentioned Watson a couple minutes ago. The Pro Bowl quarterback will not play. His backup is A.J. McCarron, the 2-time national championship quarterback with Alabama. He is hurt. He will not play. But they did sign someone recently, Jordan Tahamu from Ole Miss. He will play. He was in Houston's minicamp, and he will probably play in the second half.
Maybe.
3 seconds left, and it looks like they will try for 3.
They're going to try the field goal.
Yeah, Texans.
And they were just letting him kick a couple extra balls into the net before they called timeout.
Coming up at the half, Lance Allen and John Kuhn will provide their analysis, and they'll even have a little yoga for you. That's right, Packers cornerback Jair Alexander is a yogi.
I thought John Kuhn was going to do yoga.
He is. Alexander spent some time instructing a goat yoga class at the Children's Museum earlier this summer. Our cameras were there. Lance and John will have that for you at the half.
I cannot wait.
And neither can they. 49-yard field goal try here by Fairbairn. With him last year, 4 years out of UCLA.
From Hawaii.
Yes, he is.
Punahou High School.
Did you know that?
Like one to Hawaii.
I know you do. So on a night with very little breeze, a 49-yard field goal try Fairbairn. It is up and it will be good. Drills one from 49 to close the gap, take us to halftime, and the Packers lead cut down to 4. But the Packers on top on a 14-yard touchdown pass by Deshaun Kaiser. Last year, Houston, 11-5, won their division, a quality opponent for the Packers in their first preseason game. Packers lead at 14-10 at halftime on the Green Bay Packers television network. And will kick off for Green Bay to start the second half.
If you're playing in tonight's game, the most critical thing to you should be winning this game. How can you contribute to help your team win the game? Because you want to put good tape out there, but you want to win.
Tonight's second half kickoff presented by Fleet Farm, built for real life. And this is Vincent Smith, undrafted out of Limestone, second-year player. Moments ago, our Lance Allen caught up with new Packers head coach Matt LaFleur.
We are here with head coach Matt LaFleur. Matt, first time with the headset as the head coach. Your initial thoughts on the first half and how did it go in there?
Yeah, it went all right. I mean, there's some good plays, some sloppy play. We definitely got to tackle better on defense and get off the grass on third down. offensively, we've got to run the ball a little bit better.
You got to be happy, though, about the created turnovers, 2 by the defense, 1 by special teams.
Yeah, no, that's been huge. Right now, that's the difference in the game.
And the early indication on Deshaun Kaiser, 2 nice drives, a lot of nice completions out there as well.
Yeah, I know. He did a lot of good things. We'll take a look at the tape. He's still got a long way to go, and but I thought he did a nice job.
Matt, thank you very much for the time, and good luck in the second half.
Appreciate it.
All right, Matt LaFleur joining us right here on the Packers TV Network. Kevin, James, back
he's
up
pretty
to you.
casual, isn't he? Here comes Webb on 1st and 10. Bobbled and dropped on the play. Looking for Mitchell. Coverage on the play by Will Redmond. Incomplete, 2nd down and 10.
That play for the Texans, wide open, they dropped the ball. Now it gives the Packers a chance on 2nd down, 2nd and 10, to really stop this drive, get some momentum, get the ball back, do all the little things that need to be done during the course of a ball game. Because, Kevin, the most important play of a game is what? The next play.
I was going to say
I
that.
knew you were going to say
I know,
but you hesitated.
Well, for a second, because I wanted to make you look good. 2nd down and 10. Webb again. Here comes the pressure from Gilbert. Gets away there. Chased by Kiki. He's all over the place and then whips it away as he was looking for Adams on a cross. But the experience of Webb bought some time. Flag thrown on the play. Back at the 10, holding.
52. 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
That is on Rick Leonard out of Florida State for the Texans.
Good coverage on the back end. Joe Webb has to get off of his 1st and 2nd reads, and he's forced to scramble around. You get the holding call. Now you're going to back him up. You're going to make it 2nd and 20. What that does is it allows your defense a couple more snaps on film. Get after the passer here, be alert for the screens, the quick passes to the outside where they're going to try and block all the defenders quickly.
2nd down and 20 with a penalty in tow inside the 11-yard line of the Texans. Joe Webb. They come from the side, rushed by Simon. It's intercepted! Picked off on the play, grabbed by Sullivan, dancing his way inside the 5. Another turnover for Houston. Chandon Sullivan out of a Georgia State college program and into the end zone. He'll give the Packer offense 1st and goal at the 3 of Houston.
Joe Webb, 4-man pass rush. You play a little bit of zone behind it. Chandon Sullivan fell off of his man. I think he pushed his receiver out of bounds, so now his receiver can't catch the ball unless somebody tips it to him. So he made a smart play in recovering, gets back, and you see the running skills. All these defensive backs were great high school running backs.
They sure were.
And they will tell you how great they were. Oh, I rushed for 3,000 yards my senior year. Yeah, but none of those kids are playing here tonight.
Tim Boyle, new quarterback. 1st and goal. Carson Dance driving, grabbed on the play, hit by Dwight and others. On that line, also grabbed by Bellamy, a gain of about a yard on the play. Another turnover by Houston, and the Packers trying to cash in.
And one of the things that we talked about, the Packers last year on turnovers, they were even. They got just as many turnovers as they turned the ball over. And you really need that tilted in your favor to be a successful team. Jamon Moore down here at the bottom, one-on-one.
Carson in the backfield, 2nd down and goal. Boyle to the end zone and looking for receiver Alan Lazard out of Iowa State. It's incomplete. He's 6'5", he's got great size. Incomplete pass, 3rd and goal.
You know, it's always a lot of fun to read like the little bio notes on these players. Lazard, when he was a sophomore in high school, had 3 interception returns for touchdowns in the same quarter. Now, if I'm the opposing team on the other side, either that coach's son was playing quarterback or what, but 3 interceptions for a touchdown against the team in 1 quarter, tied the national record.
All-time leading receiver at Iowa State. 3rd and goal here. Boyle to the end zone. Incomplete. Lazard
a lot
again.
of contact there.
Adamosi, the 8-year veteran, was covering on the play. No yellow on the field. It is 4th and goal.
That ball was thrown on a line. Lazard, who's 6'5", I'd rather give him a chance to go up and extend upwards to get this ball as opposed to throwing it that fast, like a fastball right past him. Oh, remember you can challenge pass interference.
First time
so we're
going to
see that Matt LaFleur.
They can challenge pass interference and non-calls. 13:45, third quarter. Packers with the pick deep in Texan territory, moving in up by 4 on the Packers television network. This season, as most of you know, coaches can challenge pass interference and non-calls. There was not a call made on that pass moments ago by the quarterback Boyle to Lazard in the end zone.
And the interesting thing about it, the offense is back out on the field. That's fourth down, so maybe Matt LaFleur wants to go for it on fourth down. We haven't gotten the official call yet. Officials don't like to be overturned, though, very often. This would be one where you'd be overturning an official. Close play.
You and I were discussing if New York is at play in this review, and I'm sure they are, because the officials have got to go through these steps.
After review, the ruling on the field stands.
Not
Green
confirmed.
Bay's been charged a timeout. They also lose one of their challenges.
4th and goal.
Yeah.
What'd you think, James?
I still think the ball should be more of a floater to allow Lazard, who's 6'5", to go up vertically for the ball. And plus, he's going against a guy from Stanford, so it's really tough there for him.
Well, and the pass was not great. It was good, but not great. Going for the back shoulder. Anyway, here we go again, 4th and goal.
Jamon Moore up top.
In the backfield, they've got Carson. Boyle will have to maneuver and throw, and it's incomplete. Did Moore get a hand on it? It looked like it. On downs, it goes to Houston with a beautiful goal line stand on Green Bay. I'd love to see.
That ball looks like it's right on Jamon Moore's hands, right there, coming at you.
Oh, it's right there. But a flag was thrown late. Oh, you know what? It may have been tipped as well. Did Lonnie Johnson?
Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
It may have been tipped by 32 Lonnie Johnson. But there was a flag, as we said, with illegal contact on by Chris Johnson of Houston. I don't know if we've got that shot one more time.
You want to start coming up with the plays and making the plays. Yeah. You know, even a ball that
watch the hand here. Watch this. If the red glove does deflect. No, it does not. No, it does not.
He can't get his hands positioned. His thumbs should be together. He should be making a big pocket there. He lets that ball get past his eyes.
Here we go again. 1st and goal with the penalty on Houston. Handoff, Trey Carson submarines and gets near the goal line, but not in. Inside the 1, Carson with the gain of about a half yard or less. 2nd and goal. Red zone has been a bit of an issue in training camp, and as Matt LaFleur has said very publicly, the offense has not looked good in camp practices.
The lack of tackling, it's hard to practice this area.
It's Carson again, this time hit behind the line of scrimmage by Austin Exfor, who is a rookie free agent from Appalachian State. Does not get in. 3rd and goal. 7th play from deep in this territory. Inside the 5 coming up. Wow.
Let's not forget this Texans team that was 11-5. They were first against the AFC in the run last year. Only 83 yards per game did they allow. So this should not come as a surprise to the Packers.
You saw Romeo Crennel, the defensive coordinator, in the background. 3rd down and goal. Boyle to the end zone. Caught for the touchdown, Jamon Moore. He held on that time. And the Packers have their 2nd touchdown pass of the night. And the first one from Tim Boyle to Jamon Moore.
Nice location by Boyle. Still, I'd like to see Jamon Moore reaching out for this ball as opposed to clutching it into his body. Still a little bit of a bobble there, so if he's right along the boundary, he might have gotten pushed out of the boundary and not been able to bring that down in bounds.
Mason Crosby the extra point. Packers on top 21-10 early 3rd quarter. The Sullivan interception took him down inside the 5. It took a lot of plays to get in, but finally Jamon Moore grabs that short touchdown pass. 2 Packer touchdowns off of Texan turnovers. This game is brought to you by Ticketmaster, by Spectrum, and by Quick Trip. Scoring summary brought to you by Chevrolet, proud to be the best-selling brand in Wisconsin, the official vehicle of the Green Bay Packers. Trust Chevy on your team. Visit your local Chevy dealer today. Jamon Moore trying to gain the trust of his quarterbacks. Dropped one in the end zone, but caught one from a yard away after the interception by the Packers and Chandon Sullivan. And the ensuing kickoff is taken by Vincent Smith, who finds a little bit of running room to the side, and there he goes. Flag is thrown, and a tackle made by Darius Shepard, 40-yard return.
There was a hold on Alan Lazard, number 13. He was down so fast, right in the middle, and he beat his man, got the holding call, so he didn't get the tackle, but he did a great job in hustling down the field.
Waiting for Brad Rogers here to give us this call.
During the return, holding, number 56, half the distance to the goal, first down.
On the Texans to the sideline, and John Kuhn.
Hey guys, down on the sideline here with all-pro offensive tackle David Bakhtiari. And David, you are 2 weeks into training camp now. How are you liking this new offense?
I like it a lot. It's a lot of fun to play in. Very balanced. The pace is great, and I'm excited to really go out there and show the world really in a couple weeks.
Now, with a lot of the starters out tonight, you got a good gauge of yourselves at the joint practices with the Texans the other day. What did you take away from those 2 joint practices?
It's my first time doing it. I think the first time the Packers have done it since 2005. It was good. Some good work. Kind of get to work with guys in practice, kind of hear how they kind of run stuff. But at the end of the day, it was fun work, and it's nice to kind of see the guys out there now playing.
Now, you're not working tonight. I never had that luxury in the preseason, so I wonder, what's the mindset like when you come into a preseason game knowing that you have the night off?
I wouldn't say necessarily the night off. I mean, we still got to come in, do a workout, and really get some conditioning in before the game. And then really it's just helping the young guys, not only mentally and physically, just kind of calming their minds, because this is a first time for many guys coming out here in front of all these fans live with the cameras rolling. So it's a fun environment. I think they're doing well. Scoreboard reflects that, so we're happy.
David Bakhtiari not doing any playing, but coaching his teammates up tonight. Back to you guys in the booth.
Great John Higdon with the gain of 9 right there, James.
You know what I love? David Bakhtiari, who is Kuhn's teammate, is just going, what is Kuhn being so straight about? He's not, cracking jokes, and then finally Kuhn cracks a joke, and Bakhtiari almost loses it on the sideline there. That's great.
Good job. John, I'm glad you're with us. Let me just tell you that, regardless of what James says, here's a handoff.
I know about your buddies in the locker room treat you so much differently. They're going, look at Kuhn, he's got the microphone and everything.
John, you're doing great down there. Let me just tell you, okay? And in Packer Nation, John Kuhn can do no wrong. Well,
I love it. I know.
Karan Higdon is the running back now in this series for the Houston Texans. If that name sounds familiar, first team All Big Ten at Michigan, 1,000-yard rusher last year for Jim Harbaugh. 3 runs of 7, 9, and 6 yards. They go outside. Here is Gillespie, who is the fullback, and he catches and runs it for a first down. Tackled on the play. Gain of 7 out to the 36. A first down for the Texans as Webb remains the quarterback, and the rookie Ento makes the stop for the Packers.
And when you have a chance to make a play out in space, this time Ty Summers overruns the play a little bit. It allows the next guy to come in, make the tackle, to clean it up. And you need to be able to do that. Ento, nice job making the tackle.
Joe Webb has gone the entire way at quarterback, 1st and 10 for the Texans. Outside, you see the catch right there made by Johnny Dixon out of Ohio State. As he clutched down to the ball, has a first down, 49-yard line of Houston.
Chandon Sullivan's in coverage on that side. He'll learn when we're putting pressure on the quarterback, when we're bringing 6, that ball's going to come out a little earlier, so I need to tighten up my coverage there.
Webb again, brings him to the line. 4 takeaways by the Packer defense tonight. 1st and 10. And this is Higdon. Ron Higdon, first University of Michigan running back with over 1,000 yards since 2011. Gain of 5 right there to the Green Bay 46.
Some of the basics that you want when you're going to examine this film, were we able to run? Were we able to stop the run? So far, the Packers have not been stopping the run as well as what they would have liked. Doesn't matter if it's the first unit, second unit, third unit, you want to stop the run.
2nd down and 5. Webb, and that was snared out of the air. Nice catch right there made by Jester Weah from Pitt. 14-yard pickup to the Green Bay 42. Weah makes the grab on the Houston practice squad a year ago.
I don't know if Weah's left-handed, but he stuck that big left mid up there and just snatched that ball in.
So Webb has had completions to Dixon at 13. Weah right there at 13. 1st and 10. Higdon wrapped up by Deion Simon out of Northwestern State, Louisiana. On that Green Bay line, stopped basically at the line with the gain of about a half yard.
See, that's a nice job. You're playing over the center, you defeat that block, you get up, you help in on the tackle, and you're able to help in on the tackle because on the front side, where they're trying to run, there's not a hole there. There's no big gap for him to run to, so he has to slide back inside. And that's nice team defense on that last play.
2nd down, long 9. This drive started at the Houston 8. Joe Webb, blitz from the lookout, here he comes, down he goes, Randy Ramsey got him. Ramsey comes in, the rookie free agent out of Arkansas, makes a terrific play. Loss of 8 on the play. Ramsey, undrafted, signed in May, a 2-year starter from Arkansas.
When you are unblocked, that may be the hardest time to make a front side sack because you're going at the quarterback 100 miles an hour. All he has to do is be like a matador, and you're the bull charging him and step out of the way. Nice job. Stay in your course, exploding through the player and wrapping him up.
From Fort Lauderdale, Florida, here is a 3rd and 18 beneath the Green Bay 22. Joe Webb, 10-year veteran. The time moves away from Kiki, and downfield he scrambles and has his receiver Dixon. 2nd catch for him. Makes it at the Green Bay 26. 15-yard pickup for Dixon. Had a 13-yard catch earlier on this drive.
And Bill O'Brien just waved the field goal kicker off the field. They're going to go for this. This would have been about a 43-yard field goal attempt. We don't need to practice field goals.
No.
Let's practice 4th down, see if we can pick it up. They're regarding this as like a 3rd and 4. If they get a fresh set of downs, they'll take it.
4th down and 3.
Looks like pressure coming from the Packers right up the middle.
Webb, they bring them all. Chased by Redmond on the move. And let's see if he got the 1st down. He did. He got it. They'll mark him at the 20, inside the 22. Mark isn't as good as we initially thought. Let's see where he goes out of bounds here. Got out of Redmond's run. And, that's very close.
Front left foot looks like it's on the boundary. And where's the ball?
He's in right there. There's green between his white shoe and, boy, that is tight. That is close.
I don't think it's a call that will be reversed once they make the play here, right? Ooh, I like it. Inches short.
On 4th down, it's turned over to Green Bay on downs.
Yeah, let's throw the challenge flag out there for Bill O'Brien.
I think I would too. I thought.
But I don't know if it's evidence to the point where it's indisputable.
Yeah. Packers with a couple touchdown passes tonight. We take a break. Late 3rd quarter from Lambeau.
You know what I miss, or I think people miss when they don't get to come to the stadium? They're playing the Beatles. Let it be. Let it be. Let it be. And I mean, that's so great.
After review, the ruling on the field stands.
Let it be.
Houston's been charged with a timeout and also been charged with a challenge. It'll be first down, Green Bay.
See, you thought that he might have gotten it. And I think that that's just hard to overturn with indisputable evidence. So let it
was
be.
too close.
Let it be. Speaking words of wisdom.
And it looked like his foot, although it planted inbounds, then shifted out of bounds as the ball was
sprayed
hit.
a lot of extra paint on that side.
I know. We could sit here and look at that all day. It's only the preseason. Here come the Packers. They get it on downs, and they get it first and 10 at their 23. Tim Boyle remains the quarterback. He just threw a 1-yard touchdown pass moments ago to Jamon Moore. From his 23, fake handoff to Dexter Williams. This is caught by the tight end, Evan Bayless, who takes it upfield, has the first down. Green Bay 34, 13-yard pickup, and a first down to the sideline and Lance.
Yeah, Kevin, we're joined by Kenny Clark. And Kenny, how on earth can you be in your 4th NFL season and only be 23 years old? How's that possible?
Man, I was just blessed with my talents. Left school early, and my mom had put me in school early, so I guess I'm just blessed. It's
all worked out for him. And Kenny, another thing is this new look defense already creating 2 turnovers tonight. How excited are you? How special can it be this year?
It can really be special. We're big on the ball, trying to get turnovers. We're doing a good job today. And, we just big on just being aggressive, playing fast out there, just knowing our assignment and knowing our techniques. So, a lot of the guys out here, they're doing a good job. We got to do a better job tackling, but I think the coaches are going to be real happy with us getting the ball out.
Final thing is the Packers have not been shy in saying they want to keep you long term. How do you go about your business and then let other people worry about a contract extension or whatever else you want to say?
It's good to know, and I want to be here too, so that's cool, and really I got to just keep my head down, keep working, and just grind after it, man, and eventually it happened.
Your future is bright. Thanks for the time.
Oh yeah, thank you.
All right, Kenny Clark joining us right here on the Packers TV Network. Guys, back up to you.
Rising star Kenny Clark, Pro Bowl alternate a season ago, even a bigger role now. James with Mike Daniels gone for defensive coordinator Mike Pettin.
I love how he talked about his mom started him in school early.
Yeah.
He's too big to be sitting at home. Put him in kindergarten, and he's as big as the 3rd graders once he shows up. So, hey, I'd send him off to school too. He's eating too much at home.
As good a Packer defensive player as they have right now, 3rd and 5. Oh, somebody moved. There go the flags. They'll blow that play dead.
Voice inflection can get your offensive lineman too.
Sure can. Get everybody, yeah. Rodgers a master at it.
False start. Offense. Number 57. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Adam Pankey. Aaron Rodgers does it all the time and practices and is as good as any quarterback has ever been at drawing them off like that. They think he'll play next week. He thinks he'll play next week. Now 3rd and 10. Williams in the backfield. Boyle deep and looking for Lazard. Incomplete. Burton with the coverage. Flag on the play.
Burton tried to run him off the field, and you cannot take the receiver and move him off his course. That's pass interference by definition. See, that left arm gets in there and he starts to push him sideways.
We saw Kaiser for the first half, and Tim Boyle, who hasn't thrown a pass in a regular season in the NFL, didn't see a snap last year, was kept on the 53-man roster all of last season, inactive all but 1 game, undrafted, and he is in there out of Eastern Kentucky. A 40-yard penalty right there to the 25-yard line, and a quick hitter right here across the middle. Shepard brought down by Body Calhoun. Flag thrown again. Gain right there to the 13. 12-yard pickup by Boyle. It's on Green Bay. Tim Boyle led the Ohio Valley Conference in passing. Tim is from Middletown, Connecticut, and he was voted by the coaches in that state as the Connecticut High School Player of the Year. Was going to go to one of the 2 Boston schools and chose instead to move to a smaller school. His dad played college football and Here he is with Green Bay in a second season. 1st and 20 with the penalty. Winding up again. Oh, he's got him! And is incomplete. Looking for Tio Redding. Another flag. Back at the 42.
Redding looks like he gets hooked.
A little hands
right
to the
at
face.
the top of the route.
Defense, number 54. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
4 straight flags without a play that counted. It's preseason. President was guilty there. The president was guilty.
Don't do it.
Yep. 30-yard line, 1st and 10. Dexter Williams remains in the eye. Tim Boyle. Williams. Jiggle right there as he was taking it in. Brought down by Kalambai. He's out of Stanford 2. Gain of 3 by Williams.
You know, I love watching running backs run, and very seldom do I question, did they make the right cut? Because what we forget is what they see at field level.
Right.
And that small gap in there, he probably shouldn't have passed by that second hole. Plant your feet, your shoulders, and get as much as that play is going to give out, because cutting back the second and third time doesn't always help you out.
2nd down, 7. Williams kind of missed the block there. Here's a Peckott touchdown! Lazard! And he beat Lonnie Johnson, the rookie, in a 2nd-round pick out of Kentucky. And the quarterback, Boyle, right on the screws. 27-yard touchdown pass.
6 feet, 5 inches tall, takes his big body up, and once he does that, the defensive back can't come through him, catches the ball at the high point. All the little things that you describe if you're coaching receivers that you want him to do, he does. But not a bad throw by Boyle either.
Not a bad throw at all. Boyle's 2nd touchdown pass in this quarter. 27-yarder right there. Fickin on for the extra point. Lazard is the biggest Packer receiver in camp at 6'5" and 227. He was a catching machine at Iowa State. He was with Jacksonville last year, undrafted on their practice squad. Green Bay's got him now. Here's the extra point, 28-10 Packers. Couple touchdown passes. They've got some interceptions. They're doing it on all ends, even a special teams touchdown. That time Lazard from Boyle for 6 for the Pack. Good showing by the Packers tonight. Scoring summary brought to you by Chevrolet. Chevrolet, proud to be the best-selling brand in Wisconsin and the official vehicle of the Green Bay Packers. Trust Chevy on your team. Visit your local Chevy dealer today. So Green Bay has gotten 3 touchdowns in their last 6 pass attempts. Kaiser has 1 touchdown pass. Boyle has 2. And the Packers lead the Houston Texans 28-10. 4 takeaways by the Packers tonight and a special teams touchdown. Johnson leaves it in the end zone to the 25 and a 1st and 10 for the Houston Texans.
When you have a chance to make a play, you want to be able to do that. You know, that's a given. Now the defense goes back out onto the field. The Texans are going to continue to run the ball. They've run the ball very well tonight. You heard Kenny King talk about, and he's watching from the sidelines, we didn't tackle well. So at some point next week, there are going to be tackling drills. They may not be on your teammates, but you're going to be hitting bags, wrapping up, doing all those little things that you weren't able to do in this game tonight.
Higdon the back, Webb the quarterback, and it's 1st and 10. Here comes Gilbert. Here comes Summers. There goes the ball. Underthrown to Tyron Johnson out of Oklahoma State. A couple guys around him, including James Crawford. 2nd down and 10. Well, The defense has held Houston on downs. They've got 4 takeaways. Got a fumble recovery. I mean, they've really, in almost every phase.
The interceptions are really what
Yes.
stand out to me, because one fumble recovery was off of a 15-yard run, the
Right.
other was off of a punt. But the interceptions, when you're playing the ball, that's important.
Second down 10, Higdon out of Michigan. Grabbing the play. Was that Looney in there who made that grab? Gilbert was in there too. Couple Packers in there with the stop. Yep, Looney was around that. Gain of 6 on the play. 3rd and 4 coming up for the Houston Texans. As we mentioned before, winning the AFC South a year ago, 11-5. Most wins since 2012 after they began last season. 0-3. Won 9 straight games. Deshaun Watson, their Pro Bowl quarterback, will not play, has not played. But he was right at the tip there of what they were doing. Here comes Webb, escaping, slippery, on the move. On this long play, a 3rd and about 8. Caught on the play, grabbed by Johnson, dancing, cutting, driving to the 29. Brought down by Ento. Webb made that play happen. A dancing receiver, a gain of 44, and a first down for the Texans.
On a long play like that, where at the end of the play you see 2 Packer defenders, they're both trying to locate where the receiver is. The receiver, all he's doing is watching the ball. So the minute that they take their eyes off where the ball has been thrown from and find the receiver, it's too late, because they've kind of overrun him. Keep your eye on the receiver and try and marry his hands with your hands as he reaches up for the ball.
First down and 10, this is Higdon. Pile driving and backpedaling his way down to the 22-yard line. Brought down by Reggie Gilbert with a backpedaling run of 8 yards on the play. He was first team All Big Ten a season ago, yet went undrafted, so he's a rookie free agent. He's looked good tonight.
When I had a chance to coach with the San Diego Chargers, we had a defensive line coach, and his nickname was Coach Knock 'em Back, because that's all he ever said. Knock 'em back, knock 'em back. That's what you'd like to see the defense do, knock them back, as opposed to letting them fall forward.
Packers have 4 takeaways. They've got 3 touchdown passes. That's the end of the 3rd. They go to the 4th, up by 18 on the Packers television network. 4th quarter about to start here at Lambeau. Tonight, the 4th quarter brought to you by Concordia University, Wisconsin. Proud to be the preferred MBA of the Green Bay Packers. Visit cuw.edu for more information. So the Packer defense had 7 interceptions last year, tied for the 2nd fewest in the NFL. Tonight they've got a couple. The last one put them inside the 3-yard line of Houston. They got a 1-yard touchdown pass out of it. 4 takeaways tonight. Right now, Webb and the offense moving. The only starter for the Packer defense to play tonight was Montravius Adams. 2nd and 2, here they come. Looney couldn't get him. Webb deep sideline, caught by Johnson at the 3. Pushed out of bounds by Rouse.
You got flags in 3 different locations around the field. There was a hold or a block in the back right in front of the quarterback. Then there's pass interference, and there's illegal contact. And Bill O'Brien is going,
what?
Is this ever going to end?
They practiced Monday and Tuesday against the Packers. I think they flew in, I'm guessing, Sunday night to practice by 10 o'clock on Monday morning. Surely they didn't fly in Monday. I don't know. But they practiced Monday and Tuesday. They stayed here, of course, Wednesday.
Right.
They're going to leave tonight. They've been here all week.
Block in the back. Offense,
Block
number
in the back.
61. What was yours?
What was yours?
Marquise Shakir picks it up. 61. Oh, yeah, he was holding Looney.
Yeah, Looney makes it, and right there, shove in the back.
They decline it. 2nd down and 2. We're looking at goal to go. So,
was it offsetting there on that last play? Yeah.
Yes, it was.
You know, he kind of turned his mic off. When
that was the
was
problem. Okay.
Yeah.
2nd down and 2. Grab the fake. Here's his throw, and it's caught across the middle by Weah. Off the practice squad, undrafted last year. He led the the ACC in yards per reception in college. 15-yard pickup makes it 1st and goal to the 7.
That gap between the linebackers and the defensive backs are what you get when you run the ball effectively. Now your play action fake sucks those linebackers up and you throw the ball right behind them.
And the run by Higdon. Maybe a gain of a yard, and that's it. And Looney was among a couple to get their hands on him.
Yeah, it looked like a guy, once again, trying to run with the lights off in the room. You just hit a wall.
I like that.
That's a couple of big plays by Looney. One to force the penalty, and right now Looney is dominating his guy. The guy who's playing across from him is going, why don't they substitute 99 right now? Get somebody else in here because I can't handle it.
2nd down and goal for Joe Webb. To the end zone, caught for a touchdown. Adams, the tight end from South Carolina. The former New York Giant, 6th-round pick, off the practice squad, 6-yard touchdown pass. And the Texans will put that on the board.
Yeah, a nice move by Adams. He hesitated a little bit off the line, got to the goal line, chopped his feet a little bit, and then broke to the outside, freezing Crawford, the inside linebacker.
Crawford taking the play still of Oren Burks, who left very early in the game. Didn't see him return. They took his helmet away. Crawford has basically been in there since, fighting for a position on this team. Terrific special teamer is Crawford. And that is one way he led the special teams in tackles last year. That is no good. Fairbairn has missed the extra point. Packers still holding on to the lead. Missed extra point by Kaimi Fairbairn. As Webb, the veteran, finds his tight end, and he's in there for the touchdown for the Texans. At Lambeau Field in Green Tonight's Bay. Game is brought to you by Spectrum and by Menards. 2 minutes gone, 4th quarter. Joe Webb, the Houston Texans quarterback, has just thrown a 6-yard touchdown pass to his tight end out of South Carolina, Jarrell Adams. Fairbairn, that guy right there, the regular kicker, just missed the PAT and the ensuing kickoff. This will be taken out by Green Bay's Teo Redding. Oh, and the ball is loose and recovered at the 28. And recovered by the Texans. On a fumble by Teo Redding, a first-year player from Bowling Green. Turnover from Green Bay. Spent last year on the practice squad for the Packers.
Guys carry the ball in traffic. You want that ball high and tight. He has the ball high and tight, and it just gets poked out. You get a hand in there from number 25, Deontay Burton, and right before he hits the ground, that ball comes out. And it is the most hopeless feeling in the world when you see that ball spinning away from you and you know you caused the fumble.
First Green Bay turnover tonight. A review, of course, every turnover, every scoring play. Packers with a new head coach, new feel, 6-9-1 a season ago. Finished 3rd in the NFC North, and it appears to be every bit as strong, if not stronger, than a season ago. Webb 1st and 10, outside low, almost uncatchable to Josh Ferguson, who is out of Illinois in his 3rd year, incomplete, 2nd down and 10.
A little bit of late pressure by the Packers. They line up with the 3-man front. They bring a linebacker from distance. The offensive guard looks to help out with the tackle in the center. And he bolts right past and forces a low throw by Joe Webb. This is a nice situation for the Packer defense to have to be in after a sudden change. You know, you were just on the field. You had to drive down for a touchdown. Now you have to go back out and play defense again.
Ferguson on 2nd down and 10. Stood up, hit down Deion Simon. Allowing just a gain of a yard. He spent some time in the Packer practice squad a season ago. 12 weeks. He was released by the Jets in September. Then Tennessee cut him, and then the Packers reeled him in.
Good stop by the Packers to force a 3rd down. Try and get them to have to kick a field goal. Well, but you never know during the preseason. Because Bill O'Brien may say, oh, let's just go for it on 4th down. He might have already made that call to his offensive coordinator.
It's 3rd down and 9. Webb, and broken up, incomplete. And the defense of Nidair Rouse, a rookie free agent out of Westchester, on a pass for Jester Weah. Incomplete, 4th and 9. They'll try for 3.
Weah had a nice one-handed catch earlier in the game. Here he slides down for a pocket catch, and that ball slides right past him.
He could have had it. Should have had it.
Yeah.
Didn't have it.
You know, very rarely from the broadcast booth have I dropped a pass. But when I was playing,
when you played, you didn't drop many.
Yeah, but I developed great excuses because I'm a little tongue-in-cheek guy.
45.
That one, the lights would have gotten me.
45-yard field goal right down the middle. 3 more on the board, so they cash in with only 3. Packers hold them out. Fumble recovery and a field goal right there. 28-19, Green Bay. Packers have 3 passing touchdowns tonight. You could win a 2019 Chevy Silverado in Quick Trip's Ultimate Tailgate Sweepstakes. Stop by Quick Trip. Purchase any Jack Link snack with your Quick Rewards card, and you're automatically entered to win. See stores for details. Is he eating some Jack Links? No, he's eating pizza. But it could be some. I think you're looking like Brett Favre. Did you see that guy?
Oh, yeah.
Kind of looked like Brett.
He might have snuck up here.
I don't think he did. Kickoff by Fairbairn, just knocked in a 45-yard field goal, and that goes over the head of Joel Davis. Out of the end zone. Last guy that brought it out fumbled, and so he wasn't back there. New quarterback for Green Bay, rookie free agent Manny Wilkins out of Arizona State. He was a 3-year starter in the Pac-12 for the Sun Devils.
See, this is when I wish that they would have a heart rate monitor on him and put it up on the Jumbotron. Because he's going at about 160 beats per second right now. I can just hear guys in the huddle going, what's that? Oh, my heart.
Yeah. He played, I think you mentioned this, 4 different offensive coordinators in 4 seasons. Now he's in the NFL, his 5th different OC. First down 10 from the 25. With a handoff, and Dexter Williams. He's looked pretty good tonight. And he takes a pass, the 30 to the 31. Bello there with the stop, gain of 6 to the sideline, and John.
Hey guys, I'm joined now with one of the most experienced Packers on the roster, Tramon Williams. And Tramon, you are the elder statesman on the team. How does it feel going into year 14, and how do you stay ready all the time?
Oh man, it's just kind of normal now. You know, I've been doing it for this long. Experience plays a big factor in it. Now it's just kind of showing the young guys now.
You said, I mean, you got a lot of young guys in the room. What kind of knowledge do you try and drop on them with all the experience that you have?
Just kind of try to tell those guys just to kind of get underneath guys like myself and ask the questions that you need to ask and get up to speed as fast as you can. The faster you can do that, the better you'll play.
Now, Tramon, you had tonight off, but I know you're ready to go. You could have came out tonight. You could have played 40, 50 plays, huh?
Most definitely.
Now tell us, going into year 2 of Mike Pettine's defense, what's different, what's new, what's the feel like in year 2?
Oh, man, year 2, the defense, everybody's always better. And that's the great thing about it. I mean, you got some of the same guys, same system, and guys are just doing an excellent job at communicating at it right now. So we're in a good place right now.
Guys, talking with Tramon Williams, the ageless wonder. Back up to you.
Look at Dexter Williams, bust one free. Thank you, John. Brought down in the secondary by Chris Johnson. 14-yard burst after 2 consecutive 6-yard gains.
Back to Tramon Williams just for one quick second. On defensive backs, you kind of have benchmarks, 25, 50, 75. And I'm talking about interception totals. Tramon Williams, 32 career interceptions for his career. So a very effective defensive back for a long time, and a guy who hasn't lost any speed either.
He was initially cut when he tried to break in the NFL by the Houston Texans down to the 45. Williams right there, 13 carries and about 58 yards. John Kuhn knows every answer to every question. He's just asking it just to be polite. He knows every answer.
Yeah.
Right? He knows what he's saying. He knows what he's doing. John, can we turn John up down? John, you've had a good debut tonight. I like what you're doing down there.
Thanks, guys. I'm just on my toes here. There's a lot of moving pieces down here on the sideline. We got 90 guys. We got all kinds of camera crews.
But John, are there any snacks down there?
You know, I snuck a Cliff Bar in.
There you go.
You guys did a good job. Holding
healthy.
it down.
Williams here on 2nd down and 6. Well, the key is he's brought down a couple yards shy of the first down and 4. The key, John, is you got Lance down there. See, Lance runs the show. You're finding that out, aren't you? Because he's the pro.
I thought you were saying Lance was his runner to go get him a Cliff Bar.
No.
I'll be sending in for a cheeseburger here or a brat pretty soon.
Thank God we have Lance down there. But, John, you and Lance together are great. We're so happy to have you with us on the Packer TV Network covering these games. Are you looking forward to Winnipeg, John?
I absolutely am. I mean, I'm looking forward for all the reps. This has been a heck of a time. I almost am about to jump out on the field.
3rd and 2. Wilkins fake and run, and here he goes. He's got the first down, getting the block from Joel Davis and wrestled out of bounds by Deontay Burton out of K-State. And that is a first down by the rookie and a 7-yard run.
Now, it was interesting because Wilkins is coming in. The other two quarterbacks, yes, they're young quarterbacks, but they feel like they're done for the evening. So they're watching him run going, rookie, get out of bounds. We don't want to come back in the game after we've gone out.
Or don't get out of bounds, fall down shy of the marker so they can keep the clock running. Manny Wilkins has had a knee injury that he's coming back from that required surgery at the end of his college career. Here's a 1st and 10 handoff to Dexter Williams. You see the flag, and he swerves to the 33, where he was brought down by Johnny Dwight.
Holding offense, number 61. 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
Cole Madison, who they were playing a bit at center, was having trouble in the shotgun snap department, moving him back to guard, but he is struggling after being drafted last year in the 5th round and then sitting out because of some issues off the field.
And what's interesting, I think, for Packer fans, they're wondering, okay, how is this offense going to look different? We still have Devontae Adams, we have Aaron Rodgers, we have Jimmy Graham. We're going to throw the ball. It's going to be in the run game, the outside zone run scheme. We talked about Terrell Davis and the Denver Broncos because part of this is passed down from Mike Shanahan, the way that the ball is being run.
Wilkins. And he almost had his receiver, Malik Taylor, who's a rookie free agent out of Ferris State. Incomplete. 2nd and 20.
I think Taylor, once he pivoted and went up for that ball, he thought he had it, and the ball just kept sailing right past him. He just can't get up high enough. You see it go right off his outstretched fingertips. When your head hits the ground like that, there are a lot of concussions that are caused like that.
You're right, you're exactly right. The helmet technology, though, has never been better. Those helmets cost about $500+ per helmet. 2nd down and 20. Wilkins again on the move. Chased here by Palmore, who gets him from behind. Walter Palmore, a rookie free agent from Missouri.
You like that little move that Wilkins put on him where he kind of stopped and juked a little bit?
Shimmy, yeah.
That worked really well in high school. Less effective in college, and barely got him out of trouble here in the pros.
He's from Novato High School in Novato, California.
Right up past San Francisco.
Right.
Yeah.
He Marin, is it Marin
County?
It is? Okay. He was one of the top.
You know about the grapes up there. I know you do.
I taped 2K NBA out there. That's how I know where it is. But he was one of the top 20 high school quarterbacks in the country before choosing ASU. Screen pass here, caught by Darren Hall.
Almost caught by
Darren Hall, the rookie free agent from Pitt, who blew a chance to show what he can do. They don't come that often, but when you get them, you gotta grab them.
And he had that ball, and he had it for almost like a full count. And then he decides to go upfield, and he realizes, I left the ball on the ground.
So here is J.K. Scott, who will be punting to Stephen Mitchell, who's been on the Rams practice squad and the Texans practice squad. First,
now this is a critical.
Are they short?
Punt,
Are they short? They're short a player.
I think they'd almost like a delay of game here. Give them 5 extra yards.
Well, why not? First punt this half by the Packers.
Last year,
timeout Green Bay.
Last year, Scott put 19 down inside the 20, but he had 9 touchbacks. So a little bit of that is on him, but some of it's on the coverage gunners getting down there and downing that ball inside the 10-yard line.
Scott, a career record holder in Alabama. Most people know, but it's worth repeating on this broadcast. Beginning a new season, his dad was a high school record-setting pole vaulter at Madison West High. Then he was a 2-time All-America at the University of Wisconsin, his dad was. His sister, Christy, growing up in Denver, was a 5-time Colorado high school state champion in track and field.
So he's the slacker in the family, is what you're saying.
He was rated as the #1 high school punter in the country. Then went to play for Nick Saban in Alabama. So they've all got a lot to say on their resume about their respective sports. Here he's going to kind of kick this on the toe, let it hang, and recovered at the 10. And the hang was 4-9. Guys were down there.
That's a great job.
That was 32-yard, well-placed punt by J.K. Scott. Packers on top, late 4th. Back at Lambeau, time to revisit James Players to Watch, brought to you by Toyota. The national clearance event is going on now. Visit your local Toyota dealer today or buy a Toyota at Toyota.com to learn more. Toyota, let's go places.
Now, you won't see tons of stats for offensive linemen, but you can see how he contributes. 230 yards of total offenses, 3 passing TDs. And Rashawn Gary, you don't get the sacks. You might not know the tackle numbers, but there's pressure on the quarterback. That pressure equals interceptions.
Joe Webb remains the Texans quarterback. 1st and 10 from his 10 after the Green Bay punt. Short. Buddy Howell gets away. Second-year player out of Florida Atlantic. Played 15 games a season ago. Undrafted by Miami. Cut. Houston had him, and he saw some time. 15-yard catch and run.
Well, he had made the tackle right there. Spins him down, but doesn't hold him and take him to the ground. You know, you're playing nice. You want to play mean at that point and not let him go.
To the 26 of Houston. 1st and 10. Webb, congested pocket on the cross. Floyd Allen out of Ole Miss, rookie free agent. Rouse will usher him out of bounds. 16-yard catch. 1st down, put him at the 30, 40, 2-yard line.
Those short little crossing routes, that last crosser is getting the linebacker. There's some traffic there. You're getting a rub. That's what you call it on offense. You're getting a pick. That's what the defense calls it.
1st and 10. Howell with the block in the backfield, and that throw is caught, I think it was, by Stephon Lewis out of North Carolina State to the 48, pickup of 6.
I mean, Joe Webb is having a great time. 10 years in the league, 3rd-string quarterback, special teams player, utility guy. Need him at receiver, need him at tight end. You can put him in a lot of places. He's getting to play quarterback tonight.
2nd down and 4. Houston with a couple timeouts. Webb retreats, got away from Looney and whips it away wisely. Well, the quarterbacks on the Texan roster are Deshaun Watson and now the injured A.J. McCarron, who's not playing. Webb is listed as the 3rd quarterback, and they just signed this kid, Jordan Ta'amu, undrafted out of Ole Miss. We thought we might see him. There's Deshaun Watson, the terrific rising star in the NFL out of Clemson, a Pro Bowler a year ago.
And you have to wonder how comfortable the Texans are with the backup quarterback. Joe Webb has shown really well tonight. Perhaps they feel comfortable enough with him not to go out and shop for another backup.
3rd down and 4. Webb didn't like what he saw either in his formation or what the Packers were showing, and they've got a timeout they call. 1 left for them. Let's go down to John Kuhn. John, take it away.
Guys, I'm joined now with Pro Bowl wide receiver Davante Adams. And Davante, last year at times the offense struggled, but you still seem to manage to set personal records for catches, yards, touchdowns. Now you got a new offense. How excited are you?
Man, I'm overly excited. Obviously, you got a little bit of a taste today. Some of the dynamic stuff we're going to be running, mixed with Aaron out there teaming up with Coastal Florida this year, it's going to be dangerous.
Exactly. You said it. Some of the young wide receivers out there tonight putting on some good performances. That's a pretty competitive wide receiver room. What's the mindset like with everybody in there, all the young guys?
Yeah, man. I mean, I just pretty much keeping that hungry mentality going. I gave these boys a little bit of incentive. You know, they got a couple of prizes for getting some touchdowns, potentially some 100-yard games as the preseason goes along. So I'm looking. Let's go!
Almost had it. Maybe he did. Fumbled it away.
You know, those are my boys, and I want to see them ball out.
What are some of the prizes? Can you tell us any of the prizes?
Yeah, it's actually we got a $500 if you get in the end zone, and if you have a 100-yard game, it's $1,000. If you do both, then I'm doubling up on it.
You heard it here, guys. Davante Adams, he's acting like Santa Claus down here. Back up to you.
Brady Sheldon, thank you, John. Just about had a very successful play, but he coughed it away after he got it.
It's interesting that Davante Adams, in his 6th year, is now the veteran in that wide receiver room.
Yes.
When he came in, he had guys like Randall Cobb and Jordy Nelson to learn from. Now he's passing along some of that knowledge, some of those little tips that they instilled in him to the younger players.
They did call that an interception, but you know what? I think that was an incomplete pass.
You know,
I don't know that he made a football more than a couple strides.
Well, the interesting, because it's kind of a double turnover.
Yes,
Do you review that aspect of it? Because Houston ended up with the ball.
If it was a turnover, which they did rule, because
right there,
I don't think he
balls
had.
out.
You know what? I don't think he had full control of the ball. If it's incomplete, it becomes 4th and 4. So I'm sure the Packers challenged, right?
Well, turnovers are reviewed.
Right, exactly.
But it's a double turnover review.
Yes.
Do they just look away from the camera at that point?
Yeah, I don't think he had the interception. I think it's 4th and 4.
He starts to make a football move. Now, how much of a football move did he make? How much of a football move can you expect a linebacker to make? So they have to review that aspect of it first.
So it should be incomplete, and if it is, it'll be 4th and 4.
Yep.
But if it is ruled an interception, it's 1st and 10 because he then fumbled it after getting possession. I don't think he had possession. But you know what? It's preseason. We're all over the place.
But the thing with instant replay is trying to get it right, and it's so tough because you know you look back on some of the old highlights that you're looking at 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, and you go, right now that would be a personal foul.
Right.
Or that ball wasn't caught. He juggled. He's going out of bounds. But it has changed so much. Now, Matt LaFleur looks like he's getting around a little better. He's still in a walking boot.
He is. He says he takes it off during the day. It then balloons when he takes it off. We talked to him yesterday, and but he says it is
like
getting
he's
better.
Got something on his right foot, too.
He does have something on his right foot.
But,
Either way, it's going to be Houston's ball. It'll just either be 1st down or 4th down.
Yeah.
Matt, of course, was playing basketball. Tore his Achilles in his left foot playing at the Packers facility.
Was that doing a 360 dunk?
No, he was in some. They told us yesterday he was in some kind of a shooting competition, and Nathaniel Hackett was in back of him. And I guess he missed the shot, was cutting. I think they've ruled it an incomplete pass. So it should be 4th and 4.
You had the good call on that one.
Well, I just, sometimes you get like.
Yeah, you're 50-50. You're coin toss.
Yeah, I know, that's right. That's how I kind of treat life, 50-50. Some you win, some you lose. They're going to go for it.
After review, the ruling on the field has been reversed to an incomplete pass. It's 4th and 4 on the 48-yard line.
That puts the time back on the clock.
Is correct at 5:02.
There you go.
There's Nathaniel Hackett. His dad, Paul Hackett, was a great innovator in the National Football League. Coached Montana in Kansas City and part of the West Coast offense. Coached at Pitt. Nathaniel was a ball boy for the Packers. for the Chiefs, 4th and 4. And here is a first down reception made by tight end Jarrell Adams, picking up 6 on 4th and 4. Adams had a touchdown reception earlier in the game. So here they are at the 46 and moving again. 1st and 10. Webb moves up, runs so well, and crushed at the 42-yard line.
Yeah, he took a hard hit that time.
Trey Matthews got him.
If you are the quarterback, you are allowed to slide and players will not hit you. But if you go forward with your head first, you're going to get hit by the defenders.
2nd down and 6. Packers with 4 takeaways tonight, 3 touchdown passes by 2 different quarterbacks. Low and outside, incomplete for Stephon Lewis.
Now that's the second time they've thrown that little hitch out there with Joe Webb signaling. What he does is he grabs his belt buckle and he looked at the receiver on the left and he gave him a hitch route. So they've done that twice. Now,
so like you're hitching up your drawers.
The third time he does it, it's probably a hitch and go because he's got the defensive back believing that he knows the signal now. If you see him hitch up to the side, it's going to be a hitch and go on the outside.
Each team with a timeout. 3rd and 6 here for the Houston Texans at the Packer 42. Webb dropped Adams. Had it and would have had enough for a first down at the 35. It is 4th down.
The most painful thing on the football field, dropping the ball when you're wide open.
Wide open.
And everybody on your team is looking, the backup tackle on the sideline is going, I could have caught that. That's the easy one.
Like we said, a 6th round pick by the Giants a couple years ago. Played 29 games from New York. Last year on the practice squad for the Texans. Here's another 4th down for Houston. 4th and 6, Webb. They come up the middle. Drilled, got away. Oh, he's a magician. Getting blocks. There's a flag. Here he goes. Cutting and dancing. He's got to get to the 36, and he got the first down. But let's see what the flag is all about. How in the world did he get away? Finding one escape hatch after another.
He's 231 pounds. That's how he got away. But we had a blind side block back here deep behind the play.
And a Packer player is down, and he's got 4 athletic trainers around him. He ran, Webb did, about 55 yards to gain 8. Enough for the first. Flag is down, and a player is down. And they've surrounded him so quickly. I never caught a number, James.
I think it was one of the smaller defensive backs who's in there.
Blindside block, number 79 of the offense. It's a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. It's 4th down. The clock will start on the snap.
I will tell you this, Kevin. Joe Webb is impressive. When he decides to run, to get out of the pocket, to move.
Well, if that's your
right there, number 39, he's the one who's going to get the blindside block right there.
Chandon Sullivan, who had an interception earlier in the game.
And I don't think it's a great call. I think he does a nice job in flopping there a little bit at the end. I hope he's not injured. But he sells it for the Packers.
Well, that penalty, as you see Sullivan up and off under his own power, that penalty makes it 4th and 21, and the punting unit out there right now for Houston. The punt from Trevor Daniel. From the 20-yard line, it's picked up here by Green Bay's Darius Shepard. 37-yard punt, 2-yard return. 1 timeout apiece. Packers on top. They get the ball, and quarterback will be Manny Wilkins again.
So the Texans can essentially stop the clock twice with a timeout at the 2-minute warning.
Yes, sir.
How much of that does Bill O'Brien take into account, or does he go, hey, we've been up here all week long?
Well, every snap, I think, for these kids, in the preseason now, and as it's been for quite some time, is designed so much to figure out the last 5 to 7 places on your roster. There's a spinning move by Darren Hall out of Pitt, rookie free agent. Corkscrews out to the 29 and picks up 6 for Green Bay on 1st and 10. Second and 4 coming up.
And the Packers can keep the Texans from calling a timeout if they pick up a first down right now.
Yep.
Because then they'll just say, we'll get down to 2 minutes and they can take a knee. But you're right about seeing things on film and what type of effort guys are giving late in the game. Are they executing the proper steps on the offensive line and everything?
And remember, now 2nd down and 4 with Wilkins. With no hitting or very limited hitting in practice, these games become even more important because here is where you see live hitting. With the 32, he dives. Picks up a couple on the play. 3rd and 2. So this is the only time you can hit with great legitimacy against someone other than yourself.
And it's not your own people that you might be injured.
I mean, that means these games take on. When you played in the old days, you hit every practice, twice a day.
You said you weren't going to say old days about when I played.
I'm emphasizing days, not old. But in your days.
Oh.
But you know what I'm saying? I mean, these games
I know
take
exactly
on.
what you're saying. And the other thing, there are no cut downs anymore.
Right.
So you're going to end up with these 90 players, and the fans who are here, they're chanting and they're loving it.
3rd and 2 when we come back. 2-minute warning. Packers on top and trying to get a first down. 2-minute warning in Green Bay. Tonight's ground game stats are powered by Cenex. Be sure to stop at your local Cenex to fuel up on the way to your next Packers game. Cenex is the proud petroleum partner. Try saying that 5 times. Of the Green Bay Packers. Dexter Williams was impressive tonight for Green Bay. The rookie out of Notre Dame, 62 yards. Here is a 3rd and 2. Wilkins, and he's got him, but he underthrows him. Pharaoh McKeever looked like he had a jump, and Wilkins could not get the ball to him. 4th down, the punting unit on the field for Green Bay.
That's a nice job of playing assignment football by the Texans. You fake the play to the right. The guy who's on the back side of the play has containment, stays, does his job, forces the quarterback into an errant throw.
So J.K. Scott to punt again for Green Bay, and deep back is Stephen Mitchell. High hanging punt, retrieved at the 24. Hang time of 5 seconds. Breaks a Davis tackle, and then taken down from behind by Randy Ramsey near the 30. 45-yard punt. 6-yard return. The defense tonight for Green Bay.
It's been a good night, a good first start, especially in the secondary, because you're playing the ball, your eyes are up, get ball poked out right there. But the interceptions, because that exchange of field position is incredible. You get this one all the way down to the 6-yard line, and you get a touchdown about 10 plays later. Well, it wasn't 10 plays, but it took a while. And Mike Pettin is so happy about it. Look at the smile on his face. That's a smile for him, trust me.
Mike Pettin, former head coach of the Cleveland Browns. Last year the defensive coordinator, the coaching change. He was kept now in the 2nd year. They got him 2 high draft picks on defense. They signed 2 high price free agents.
3.
Exactly, 3. Excuse me. I'm forgetting about Amos, the safety who's
Just
been
called SAS.
Yes, who's been incredibly productive in camp. Lewis picks up the catch. Gain of 8. 2nd down and 2 to the Texan 38.
I enjoyed what was said about Amos in our meetings, is that he is a finisher. He is the model practice player to lead this young group of secondary players. He finishes every play. He hustles, he runs, he does all the right stuff.
Stephon Lewis has the catch. He gets the first down to the Houston 47, picks up 9.
And he did not get out of bounds.
No.
He's tackled in bounds. That's a great job.
1 timeout Houston, 1 timeout Green Bay. Webb again. 1st and 10 from his 47, and another open receiver comes to the near side. Chad Hansen out of Cal, waived by New Orleans, claimed in late July. makes the catch. 16-yard gain to the Green Bay 37.
You've got to get a little bit of help on the underneath coverage. So you're playing back. You don't want the guy to run a stop and go past you. You want to prevent that. But if you're playing underneath in the zone areas, you've got to help the guys on the outside out.
One timeout, Houston. First down and 10. Webb with traffic and incomplete as he overshoots his receiver Floyd Allen down the middle. And a flag. Trey Matthews down there with the coverage for the pass.
Hands to the face. Number 56, defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
On Randy Ramsey.
Yeah, I always get a little wry smile on my face right there because the guy who was blocking him was short. So if the guy had been taller, his hands would have been in his chest. But number 40 who's out there looks like he's about 5'7". And if you're going to put your hands straight out, they're going to be right in the guy's face. So it's not my fault. The guy was too short blocking.
First and 10. Webb going deep into the end zone. And there's the flag.
Yeah,
Rouse.
Even though you turned, you hadn't located the ball, and then you forced the wide receiver out of bounds.
Tyron Johnson, Oklahoma State rookie free agent.
Pass interference, defense, number 41. Pass interference happened in the end zone, therefore the ball is placed at the 1-yard line, first down.
Now, Kevin, I hate to say it, but I like the college rule better. I like a 15-yard penalty for interference.
Yeah, I would agree.
And even though you may have a 40-yard pass down the field, let's not make it that easy for the offense. The offense has so many other ways to move the ball, penalties that help them out. You don't want to just continually pile on the defense. I hope we didn't have 12 guys out there in formation.
3 flags thrown.
12 players on defense in the formation. It's half the distance to the goal. First down.
Now, nobody wants to be the embarrassed player to jog off the field.
Well,
now, I would have loved to have 3 guys that run off, because that way they're doing it together. I didn't know.
Mike Tyson.
Love it. Love that name.
First and goal inside the 1.
You know, it's a 2-score game, Kevin.
I am aware of that with a handoff here and a touchdown with ease. Josh Ferguson. Third-year running back out of Illinois.
How tall is Josh Ferguson?
He's, you know what, I don't have
That's the guy whose hands went to his face a couple of times.
Let's see him take it in. He's a tiny guy. 5'8".
I would say about that. He's listed at 5'10", but that's no way.
No way.
No way.
15 unanswered points by the Houston Texans. 1-yard touchdown run by Josh Ferguson, who, by the way, rushed for over 2,500 yards at Illinois. Practice squad from Houston a year ago. There goes the extra point. That makes it a 2-point game with 29 seconds to go and a timeout remaining for each team.
And you see all the coaches on the Packers sidelines with their hands up, signaling for the hands team. And so you've practiced this a couple of times with your starters, with 1 or 2 backups. Now you've got who's left in the game, who's still playing that can go out on the hands team, showing them where to line up and what to expect.
New special teams coordinator Sean Menenga is out there with his crew.
Now, if I were a special teams coach, this kick is so tough for the kickers. I know they practice it on the other field all day long. I would have one of the offensive linemen come out and try the onside kick. Just get out there and knock the heck out of the ball trying to kick it sideways. Because the kickers, invariably, who practice this so much, hardly ever get it right. It's hard to recover it, especially with the lack of a run-up by the recovering team right now.
Fairbairn with the onside kick, little chip shot right there, caught at the 50-yard line. Beautiful catch made by Brady Shelton. Sheldon makes the catch. Comes up with the play. He was a high school safety in Michigan, so he's used to getting the ball.
See, now you had another guy going up looking at it. Those other players need to come up and block for him to protect him so that he doesn't get hit. Once you're standing past 10 yards, you're free game. When you move up past 10 yards, you're not supposed to be hit. So those guys who are helping him out should shield him a little better so they doesn't get blasted.
So the clock is at 27 seconds. Timeout remaining for each team. Victory formation right here for rookie quarterback Manny Wilkins. They'll let the clock tick down. The Packers have won in Matt LaFleur's preseason debut as head coach. We think we'll see Aaron Rodgers next week in Baltimore. J.J. Watt, Wisconsin native, Wisconsin Badger, will look to work another day.
He got to ride a bike this week.
Yeah, I saw that.
And actually,
and broke the
it was
seat.
a little heavy for one of the bikes there.
Broke the seat. But the Texans called the Packers and asked permission to see if their players could do it. And we just saw that nice hug between Rodgers and Deshaun Watson. A lot of respect with those two. Watson the future. Rodgers the present. Although Watson, Pro Bowler last year with that 11-5 Houston team, a good one. And the Packers tonight beat the Texans by 2. 28-26 from Lambeau.